Stadium on the campus of Carson-Newman College in Jefferson City, Tennessee. Welcome to the first annual Toyota East-West Tennessee All-Star Classic. Hi, everybody. I'm Mark Howard along with Pat Sperduto. We are delighted to bring you a contest which should be a football fanatic's dream. And, Pat, a lot of these young men participated in last week's state championship games. A number of them are moving on to 1A football. We get a chance to see them compete one more time.
It's the best of the best in the state of Tennessee. You're going to have the fans will just enjoy themselves, and these names will sound familiar today and then even more familiar 3-4 years from now as they make their way through their college years. But the University of Tennessee is well represented, obviously Ole Miss, Western Kentucky, MTSU. You're going to see a bunch of players, a bunch of real good football players, and for some guys, it might be their last chance to show themselves to get that scholarship to go to the next level.
In addition, yeah, there are several hidden gems right now for a lot of major college football schools. There are going to be some coaches out here, their last chance maybe to snag themselves a scholarship.
And there's guys like a kid like Ryan Consiglio out of Independence. He kind of flew under the radar, just a good football player, hopes to just get a shot. And that's really what a lot of these kids are looking at right now.
And then there's the competitive element. We spoke to both coaches before the game. They both want to win.
Well, anytime you put on the helmet and shoulder pads, these kids are here to compete. Yes, they're going to have a fun week, and that's definitely one of the keys to the game is to have fun. But when you step on the field, as soon as you cross that line, it's time to compete. These guys will compete, and we'll see some hard hits. Hey, there's no flags on these kids today.
Ought to be fun when we come back. Starting lineups and the kickoff. Mark Howard, Pat Sperduto. Let's go to the third member of our crew down on the sidelines to Russell Mays for our striker orthopedic injury update. Russell, what do you got?
Thanks a lot, guys. On to your striker orthopedic clinic injury update. No major injuries to report this week, just the regular beating and banging that goes on in a week of high school football practice. The flu bug did go through both camps, but everybody is dressed and expected to play tonight. Mark?
All right, before we kick it off, Pat, what about the keys to the game brought to you by Toyota?
There are only two keys, and it's have fun and compete. When you step across the line, you go as hard as you can, but all week they've had fun, and just have fun. Enjoy the moment. This is your reward for such a great season for each of these kids, and they'll have their time. And the coaches, too. Kind of funny talking to the coaches, Mark, and you just can almost see their smile. There's no pressure here. It's just go out and enjoy yourself.
West won the toss, elected to defer, so back in twin safeties, Rod Wilkes of state champion Smyrna and Randall Cobb, and it looks like Roshan Patel's kick is headed towards Wilkes, who takes it up on the 5, across the 20, up to the 24-yard line, and that's where the East will set up shop. Why don't we check out the Governor's Highway Safety Offense starting lineups led by Randall Cobb, brought to you. And let's talk first about Randall Cobb before we get to the starting lineups. A Kentucky signee, Pat, Mr. Football for 2A.
Coach Rankin had him, did great things with this kid, and what a fantastic football player. He's on his way to Kentucky, at least verbally, and now we find out, is he a quarterback? Is he something else? But he's just a good football player.
Chris Gray of Laverne and Rod Wilkes are split out of the eye on first down, and the initial handoff going to Torrey Works. Now let's check out the rest of the lineup, brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Office, reminding you, booze it and lose it.
Will Hewitt, Sevier County High School. Adam Smith, Blackman High School.
Travis Lewindahl, Riverdale High School.
David Spurlock, Riverdale High School.
Jonathan Sharp, Anderson County High School.
Rodriguez Wilkes, Smyrna High School.
Chris Gray, Laverne High School. Andre Sterling, Farragut High School.
Elijah Bible, Bristol, Tennessee High School.
Randall Cobb, Alco High School.
All right, Andre Sterling got that first carry for 1 yard. It's Sterling and Marshall. Brian Marshall of Ooltewah in the backfield. The play fake. Cobb under pressure and initially evaded pressure and then was finally brought down As we look at the defense again, the starting lineup's brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Office, reminding you, booze it and lose it.
Kendall Dansfield from Dallas County High.
Donald Law, Hamilton High School.
Justin Burleson, Westview High School.
Jamil Davis, Mountain High School.
Ryan Siglev, Independence High School.
Gavin Harn, Jackson Central Mary.
Ricky Holloway, Baylor High School.
Tyler Caldwell, Dazzler High School.
Demetrius Garrett, Hillsborough High School.
Kendall Harper, Trenton Peabody High School.
Harrison Moore, Westview High School.
And Donald Law in on that first tackle. 3rd down and 8. Cobb screening it out. And Sterling picking up the yardage off a good block, has the first down across the 50, all the way into West Territory, down to the 39-yard line. Finally brought down by Kendall Harper, a gain of 34 yards.
What a great job by the offensive line in fighting those guys. These guys here on defense, they're so aggressive that pass rushers, they all think they're going to get a sack. They fly upfield. Good job of setting it up by Sterling in the offensive line. Good draw by Cobb. And that's a great conversion on a 3rd and 8.
Sterling, 2,784 rushing yards, Pat. 29 touchdowns, 9 yards a touch. Over 6,000 career rushing yards in his career at Farragut for 69 touchdowns, played for Eddie Courtney.
And that's just, he's another kid just climbing under the radar. Somebody's going to see him here today and say, oh, lo and behold, we got ourselves a player.
That's Brian Marshall of Ottawa.
Oh, my God.
Shepherded out of bounds.
Number 33, Brian Marshall.
And
yes, Gavin.
Nice tackle there on the play.
That was Gavin Harden. What a football player. On his way to Ole Miss. This guy here is a man. Coach McAdam told us that he is just that good. I mean, he's fast, he's tough, he's smart, all the instincts. Just a big, strong kid. Ole Miss got themselves a good one for Coach Nutt.
Yeah, out of Jackson Central Mary, Gavin Harden played for Cedric Hampton. Play picked up 3 yards. Marshall getting his 2nd carry of the game. It'll be 2nd and 7. We're going to see all 3 quarterbacks shuttled into this game. Cobb's going to keep it right up the middle, very close to the first down.
I think he's got it, and Cobb is such a good athlete. I mean, he brings a different element. He is one of those competitive quarterbacks. There's different types of quarterbacks. If you look at it, there's quarterbacks that are that straight drop guy, the big frame and all that. Then they have just the option athlete guys. Then you have that combination, that competitor. And that's what this kid is, like the kid at Missouri, like the kid at Kansas. That's the type of guy this kid is.
Hanson Moore hauled him down out of Westview at 103 tackles and Mr. Football finalist. It'll be 3rd down and very short. Ryan Allen of Rockwood in the backfield, loose football. They got the first down.
Johnny on the spot, Brian Allen, number 44, the fullback with the recovery. But that's, hey, where else do you see a 9-yard gain on a quarterback sneak? And watch right here, Cobb knows it's a 4-3 defense, which is one of the rules today. And he just keeps it, follows his big center, puts it on the ground, great recovery.
You look at Cobb's numbers, Pat. You know, pretty impressive, but really came up large, you know, in the playoffs against Goodpasture. Threw for 2 touchdowns, ran for another, and we are, by the way, in the Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee red zone. Getting the carry is Andre Sterling, a couple of tough yards ahead, close to the 15-yard line.
The funny thing is you hear the and all the battling. It's great. You're going to hear sounds of the game for sure today as they go at it.
Sterling carries in the 16.
He's fighting for yards. It's just a counter play. They got the 2 big linemen pulling around. Let him just drive his feet. You're knocking down big guys. Protect that football. It's one of the things these young ball carriers, they have a tendency to leave it out there, bring it back into your chest.
Brian Allen checks back in the game. As we mentioned, the fullback out of Rockwood, 5'10", 240. So he's a load. Again, splitting out Wilkes to the far side. Chris Gray of Laverne to the near side. On 2nd and long, the play fake and the roll by Cobb. Throws it in the flat, has his man. Jonathan Sharp pushed out of bounds, but he has a first down inside the 5-yard line.
Actually, it's Big Douglas. That's who it is. It's Aaron Douglas.
It's Aaron Douglas out of Maryville.
I had the luxury to watch that kid in the championship game, and what a luxury for a quarterback. You have a 6'7" tight end that just can go get the football, and the sad part is Randall Cobb Didn't have the chance to play with him in high school, but the other quarterback, Mr. Burnett, did, and he knew the luxury of having that big fella.
Pat, we did the championship game last year, if you remember, Maryville, and Douglas, just a mismatch in just about every situation. On 1st and goal, the handoff right up the middle. Sterling punches it ahead for a couple of tough yards. Flag on the play.
It's going to be a face mask as he just barely grasped. I think it's going to be a face mask. But one of the things, talk about Douglas, and he's on his way to the University of Tennessee. One of the things that stood out for me as far as his abilities, yes, great target. Yeah, just throw it up and he'll go get it. Great mismatch.
5-yard face mask against the defense, half the distance to the goal. Repeat first down.
That's our lead official, Kenneth Pack, and he's got some familiar faces in his crew, such as Pat Pack, Dick Pack, and Bob Pack. All his brothers, all out of Columbia, Tennessee.
Yeah, and he gets a good look at this one. Just the grasp right there. But getting back to the Douglas story, one of the things you can do with Douglas, as much as and as good as a receiver he is, he's a great inline blocker.
9th play of the drive, and walking in for the touchdown, the first score of the game, Elijah Bible on his first touch.
And I'll tell you, very good offensive line. The one thing that stood out to me about the East squad is their offensive line. And look at them come off the football. Nice. Oh, what a block by Big 79. One of my favorite players in this game.
David Spurlock had 68 pancake blocks this year for Riverdale. He's playing alongside his Riverdale teammate, Travis Lilienthal. So a nice little package there sent by Ron Adelot.
Spurlock is a beast. He is maybe the best offensive lineman I have seen in high school football in the 10 years I've been here.
Elijah Bible scoring the touchdown out of Tennessee High School. Mike Hammonds on for the point after. And Hammonds nails it through there. Hammonds, by the way, out of Polk County. So the East gets the ball first. They march it down the field, punch it into the end zone, and lead this all-star game early 7-0. So David Lipscomb still basking in the glow of his third-class 3A state championship title a week ago. But his team right now behind 7-0. The East moving at 9 plays, 76 yards in 5 minutes and 26 seconds. Here's the kick. Back to get it. Daniel White of Overton and Marco Daly, Mr. Football. It will be fielded by Daly, who cannot get across the 15-yard line. The East, by the way, during that drive, 2 for 2 on third downs. So here comes the West offense. And they are led by John Prim. Interesting situation here. Prim out of Dixon County ran the wishbone this season, still passed for over 1,200 yards.
And Prim is a great athlete, such a good athlete that he's
playing basketball at NC Asheville.
And he's a great athlete, tough competitor. Another guy, just a competitor.
And his teammate Stedman Bell split out to the near side. Short gainer there on first down, but now let's meet the West starting offense.
Trip Thomas, Cordova High School.
Corey Johnson, Wyvern High School.
Tim Schmidt, Father Island High School.
Zach Gregory, Westview High School.
Michael Mancini, Collierville High School.
Alex Matlock, Hollow Rock, Brewston Central High School.
Trip Ware, Christ Presbyterian Academy.
Stephen Bell, Dixon County High School.
Scott Pettigrew, Independence High School.
Jacques Seward, Hillsborough High School.
John Prim, Dixon County High School.
Jacques Seward, over 1,800 yards this season in the backfield. Play action, Prim under pressure, backed into the end zone. He's going to run for his life here. Tries to get a few yards back, but he is herded out of bounds by Ben Everett of Loudoun, who had 106 tackles this season, and he'll get credit for a sack on that play. Now let's check out the East defense.
Ladarius Verge, Riverdale High School.
Montori Hughes, Siegel High School.
TJ Walker, Queen Blunt High School.
Dante Hotel, Marshall County High School.
Ben Everett, Loudoun High School.
Matt Moran, Lincoln County High School.
Jonathan Urie, Jefferson County High School.
Vic Smith, Fulton High School.
Robert Hogg, Dobbins Bennett High School.
Marshall Wallace, Blackman High School.
Derek Humphrey, Fulton High School.
And Coach McAdams is going to shuffle in his quarterbacks with the play, so that means Connor Lowry of Christ Presbyterian in the game. Short drop, looking right downfield, and the ball is incomplete. Marco Daly, the intended receiver.
You think he was excited, the defender right there, number 21?
That was Mauricio Wallace of Blackman.
And he has great position. The sideline is your friend. He cuts him off, keeps his position, big play. And I kind of like what Coach McAdam is doing. He's rolling his plays in with his quarterbacks. Prim took the first snap. Mason got bombarded from the end zone and luckily survived that, and Lowry got the chance to throw the go route.
And it's going to bring up fourth down. Rashawn Patel out of Spring Hill doing the punting. And he shanks this one. Short punt. Takes a west bounce across the 25.
It's
and
trickling.
will roll to a stop just inside the 32-yard line. So great field position for the East as they take over, already leading in this game 7-0.
I'll tell you the one thing I've noticed up front, the East offensive line and the East defensive line really has gotten after it. Offensively, I told you, Spurlock dominated on that last drive along with his buddies up front. Defensively, two guys that stood out were Verge, another Riverdale product, and another one is Montori Hughes from Siegel, number 60.
Rod Wilkes of Smyrna split out to the bottom of your screen. Brent Burnett of Maryville in the game, overshoots his intended receiver downfield. That is Jonathan Sharp out of Anderson County. Tell you what, Brent Burnett, Pat, every coach likes a winner, and as a guy who coached the game, you have to appreciate somebody who has a resume that says 60-0, 4 state titles.
Well, the one thing that, everybody talks about, quarterback ratings and, percentage, forget that. Win, loss. That's the first numbers I want to hear. And the second numbers, touchdowns to interceptions. That guy throws very few of them.
MVP of the Blue Cross Bowl, 71% passer, and his passing yards third best in TSSAA history, 3,522. And this time with the option pitch, getting short yardage and just hammered out of bounds. Brian Marshall of Ooltewah again paying the price there. Another big-time tackle on the other side by Gavin Harden, your guy.
Watch him come down the line and just lay the wood. He's from the weak side linebacker position, scraped all the way down there and got involved in the tackle. Very impressive kid.
And Houston Nutt's going to be loving this kid
yeah,
when he shows up at Oxford.
Little Christmas present for him.
Ken Easterly of Knoxville West checks into the game at wide receiver. On third down and short, and a little gift there for the East.
That's a freebie. I don't know. Let's see. I think it might be just enough. No, he's going to be short by about a half a yard for first down.
Encroachment on the red team. 5-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
Now instead of 3rd and 5, it becomes 3rd and inches.
Changes the call.
Quarterback sneak. Why not?
Really? Burnett, by the way, threw for 38 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions.
Watch him go right behind the left guard, Spurlock again.
On 3rd and short. Good call, Coach. The first down and more as Brett Burnett gets us into the Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee red zone all the way to the 15-yard line.
I'm telling you right now, it is just funny. You watch Spurlock. Bobby Bowden got himself a football player. I'm going to tell you that right now. I really, when I made that statement, might be the best offensive lineman I had seen. I still stick by it. He just did some things. And he's got that nasty streak that you want in offensive lineman. Usually, everybody wants these guys that are reactive. He's proactive.
On first down, they're keeping it on the ground. Big hole up the middle and surging all the way to the 2-yard line. Torrey Works of Bearden.
Right behind Spurlock again off that left side between the guard and the center. You watch him, he just comes off the ball, fires off the ball. A great run, but hey, I think you or I could have got through that hole too.
And Works should feel at home here. He is headed to Carson-Newman, a first-team All-Region and MVP. Over 1,900 ground yards this year for Bearden. Played for Brad Taylor. It'll be 1st and goal for the East, already leading 7-0.
Lilienthal, the center, and Spurlock on the left side. Just big holes.
Burnett keeps it very close to the goal line.
No?
Not quite in. And, Pat, we should mention there are some basic rules here to this All-Star game. Some of the things we're going to see on both sides of the ball is going to keep it pretty basic. It's a very offensive-friendly system.
No question. The first rule is you have to run a 4-3 defense with a shade and a 3 technique. You have to play only zone in the secondary, either cover 2 or cover 3. Those are simple things. Offensive formations, you can only run 1 tight end. You can run a tight in the wing, but you can only run 1 tight end. That's why you see 2 wideouts here.
He's got big Brian Allen in the backfield. And he's going to go to Works. Works punches it in for the touchdown. Little takedown there. Kendall Harper.
Golly.
It's on the wrong end of that exchange.
Do you think they want to play football or what? Old school, right down your throat.
This might be an all-star game, but a little smash mouth up front. Great block ahead by Allen. He provided the hole, and Torrey Works did the rest.
The big fullback, but very impressive again. Just getting after it up front, that left side of the line. They're going strong.
Torrey's got a little moment.
Hey,
still pumped up.
I'm telling you right now, it's football. Nobody's wearing flags. It's not flag football. We got tackle football here.
Mike Hammond, who missed only 2 extra points all season, 36 of 38 on the year for Polk County. And his attempt is no good. See, you mentioned those stats, you give him the whammy, the 2007 Mr. Football. What can I say?
The kiss of death.
Still a 13-0 lead for the East Side as they have jumped out here in what has so far been an entertaining inaugural East-West Tennessee All-Star Classic brought to you by Toyota.
I'll tell you, one of the funny things that I noticed with Coach McAdams' group is that you notice they got a couple pairs, and I'm a big believer in this. And one of the things, I went down on the field and I talked to Connor Lowry from CPA, and he was playing catch with his high school teammate Trip Ware, one of the receivers. And you know, I think that little chemistry can always be a factor in these games, the comfort zone, knowing what he knows. Hey, he knows where he's going to be.
And you're going to see teammates paired out there. You saw John Prim out there with his teammate Stedman Bell. You're going to see Connor Lowry probably paired with Trip Ware, as you mentioned. You saw the 2 guards for the East squad, the kids from Riverdale. So it only makes sense if you're a coach to have that already created chemistry working for you.
Let's go. West got to respond here. They got to find a way to make a big play, you know, and special teams is a great way to make a big play.
Number 3, Daniel White.
And again, back to get the kick, Daniel White, number 3, and number 19, Marco Daly, a kid who put up just jaw-dropping stats for Mount Pleasant. Daly backed up to his own goal line, step or 2 in the end zone. Some room, 20. Great block down, or a great tackle downfield. And again, laying the wood to him from the East squad was Jonathan Sharp.
Jonathan Sharp out of Anderson County. Prime example, another kid doesn't have a destination yet. Well, this is a tight end, a 6'5", 250-pound tight end. And if he can play special teams like that, you got to give him a chance.
That's a Madden boom.
And he knows it too. But there's a kid, that's a prime example. You take Sharp, for instance. This guy doesn't have a home yet.
So 1st and 10 from the 26. John Prim in the game. Jaquez Seward had some room and slipped down on the 35-yard line. In the neighborhood, Derek Humphrey for the tackle. Humphrey out of Knox Fulton Pat. This kid, a versatile football player on both sides of the ball, good special teams player.
But one thing with Seward that I've always liked about Jaquez Seward, I've seen him a bunch of times, he has vision. That's one thing. He knows how to set up his blocks. Very impressive.
You might want to look for Daniel White in certain situations here.
Oh.
A lot of movement up front. By the way, 8-yard gain, Pat, by the way, for Seward.
That's one of the things in these all-star games is different cadence. You're used to the same quarterback as a high school lineman.
Dead ball, illegal procedure against the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
That's a tough one.
Jaquez Seward, Mr. Football finalist, All-State, All-Mid-State, A lot of schools courting him. For him, it's a matter of academics. He's got the 1A talent.
Well, the good thing is being around a bunch of kids like these kids that he's been with all week makes a big difference.
So it'll be 2nd and 7. Deontay Mason out of Pearl Cone, ticketed for Kentucky.
What they're doing is they're rolling the quarterback in with the play, so Mason gets this play, and I would assume Lowry will get the next play.
Jamal Mosley in at tight end. He had a chance to go downfield. I'll tell you what, Mosley, a talented young man, caught 30 balls this season, played for Duran Sutton at Kingsbury, and he has a lot of 1A schools taking a hard look at him, like Michigan State, Tennessee, North Carolina, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma State. So we got Andrew Richmond of Collierville.
And they got him on the wing here, Mosley, so a little bit of a different formation.
And Mason's going to keep it across the 30, close to the first down. He's got it. All the way down to the 45-yard line. Good read there by Deontay Mason, who wasn't afraid to run with the football this season, averaging almost 10 yards a touch.
Here's an example of Coach McAdam not breaking the rules, but bending the rules. No two tight end formations. So what does he do? He takes the second tight end, puts him in a tight wing, and runs student body left with Deontay Mason.
Connor Lowry rotates into the game. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 44.
Little option for Lowry.
Little option pitch. Marco Daly. Tried the right side, and a nice tackle, which totally blew that play up from Robert Hogg out of Dobbins Bennett.
That's how to come on the spot. That's what you expect out of a safety. Boy, came right up. Watch this. Good read right here, coming across. You'll see him right there, number 12. And down he goes.
And Hogg had hit 122 tackles during the season. First team All-East. 5'11", a $165, but he packed a wall up there. Play only picked up 2. It looked like Daly was going to turn the corner. Well, he's got 3 receivers split to the left. On 2nd down and 8.
Him on the waggle. Nope.
It's Mason. He darts across the 50 into East Territory, out of bounds at the 14. Now, rather, John Prim in the game. And as we mentioned, this kid's a basketball player. A little basketball on grass there as he showed off his moves.
That's right. Fake left, go right. And you take a good look right here. They're trying to run the waggle play to the left side. Another great push by the big defensive lineman, number 60, Hughes. As he gets upfield, Prim says, uh-oh, I'll make my own play. Off I go.
A couple of words about Montori Hughes out of Siegel, Pat. We talked about some hidden gems in this game. I think coaches from both sides agree he's one of them.
6'5", 255, has been absolutely dominating in practices. Dominating.
Deontay Mason now at quarterback. The handoff to the up back, Daniel White out of Overton, only 5'5", but he racked up over 1,400 yards playing for Terry Anderson, 22 touchdowns. Among the schools interested, Tennessee, Chattanooga, Austin Peay, and Middle Tennessee.
And one of the things with White, now he's playing out of position. He was a tailback at Overton, and what they did with him, Coach McAdams said, hey, we didn't have a fullback. I said, hey, have you ever been in a three-point stance? White says, I'll try it. And
White,
behold, he got the job.
And White, the lone setback in a probable passing situation for Connor Lowry. Now they tried the draw. And getting close to 1st down yardage. Late flag on the play.
It could be in the area of a hold. I hope not. But
Daniel White pinballing down to the 30-yard line.
And White is a tough kid. I got a chance to see him against Hillsborough this year. He has
on the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
He has those Robert Newhouse thighs. You know what I'm talking about? Those big, just monstrous thighs, which is where he gets his running style. Just hard, pound into you and keep them moving. Just big, big thighs.
Robert Newhouse, the old Dallas Cowboy out of the University of Houston.
You see those big monsters right there? You can see the thigh pads, extend them out even a little bit further. Big calves, strong legs, tough football player.
Already 23 yards in penalties on the West squad, and they trail 13-0 heading towards the end of the 1st quarter. Prim back in the game on
hurry.
2nd and 15.
That's the quarter.
And that'll be the end of the first quarter. 13-0, so they'll switch sides. The East so far has dominated in the inaugural Toyota East-West Tennessee All-Star Classic. 13-0 East after one.
Right here, we're doing what I want us to do. We're responding a little bit right here, gently, which is good. Just keep doing the same thing. Don't get in a hurry. Got it? Just do what we do. Let's go. All right, here we go. We're going R River, Blacker Pete. Here we go.
R River, Blacker Pete.
Glenn McAdams of the West coaching up his Storm. His team down 13-0 for the East.
What a great man. A great man, and just proud of what he does. He takes a lot of pride in his work, not being a football coach, but being a mentor for a lot of good young men.
On 2nd and 15 from the 46, John Prim rolling left, lofts it out to the sidelines. It is caught by his teammate Stedman Bell. Bell reeled it in, a little bit underthrown, but Bell, who had 32 catches this season for 6 touchdowns.
Watch right here, Mark. Is this the epitome of the chuck and duck?
Hey, you got to protect yourself.
Oh, my gosh.
He's a jump
Prim.
He's going to be a jump shooter after this game, not a football player.
If they keep hitting him like that, he's not. And it's a nice play. All it is it's a rollout, run-pass option.
3rd down and about 5 yards to go as Deontay Mason checks in as the quarterback for the West. The handoff up the middle and blasted at the line of scrimmage was Daniel White, and just put the wood to him.
Daniel White. He's been at the line of scrimmage by number 16.
How about Dustin Tate?
Dustin Tate just lowering the boom.
Hey, there was no. What happened was they tried to run the draw. They showed the draw right here. And Justin Tate said, hey, I'm coming. I have a funny feeling it's a handoff, and poor White took the brunt of it.
So that'll bring up 4th down and 5. It looks like the West is going to go for it as he lost a yard.
Connor Lowry in now. And he's got his buddy down here at the bottom, Trip Ware, a good receiver, real good football player.
By the way, Tate out of Knoxville Catholic, his coach Mark Pemberton, of course, the coach of the East. On 4th down and 6, Lowry looking for his man. He's got Ware, and he's got the first down.
Right on cue. You know, I'm not even mic'd to these guys, I promise you.
Is complete to number 22 to Trip Weir.
Mauricio Wallace in on the coverage, but a great route run by Weir.
Just a slant route. Lowry knew exactly what type of depth he would run. And that chemistry, you see that chemistry right there. Just a great job. Nice. He fakes the stem of the go and then comes right back in on the slant, and Lowry sticks it right on him.
By the way, we're the team captain of CPA, coached by Jay Matthews, our buddy Chris Sanders, former Tennessee Titan, his receivers coach. And John Prim couldn't get a whole lot going there. Nice tackle on the interior by Dante Hightower.
And he
headed for Alabama, Mr. Football.
That's a man right there.
Out of Marshall County. Is he ever?
They're lining him up as a defensive end, but you know who's been dominating is Hughes in the middle. 60 has been disruptive.
All right, quickly, let's go down on the field to our sideline reporter, Russell Mays. What do you got, Russell?
Guys, the West team putting a good drive together. They were challenged just a few minutes ago by the East team. After the East scored their second touchdown, they started chanting East side. The West would not be denied. They started chanting West side, and they're coming right back down the field.
On 2nd and 10. Making the handoff and rolling right into the flat. Nice pass by Prim. And trying to stay in bounds with Scott Pettigrew, the fullback out of Independence. Pettigrew, coached by Jason Eubanks, Pat. Not only is he a big load at 6'2", 220, but he ran for almost 1,400 yards. And by the way, Scott asked for us to give a little shout out to all his boys at Thompson Station. So there you go, Scott. Good play there to get the first down.
Just a nice action on the flat route, but a great fake by Mason. I like the footwork and I like the fake and carry out of that fake by Mason. Real good timing.
Lowry in the game. On 1st down as Pettigrew gets a few tough yards as he punches it up the middle. And by the way, we are in the Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee red zone. Tennessee turns to us.
And again, Pettigrew, the fullback, another guy. There's another example of a guy doesn't have a home yet. You know, and what I mean by that is all these 1AA schools and some of these Division II schools have to be looking at a kid like that saying, well, maybe he's a guy we need to take a look at.
Prim in the game. You might think he's going to give it to Jacquez Seward. He's lined up behind Prim in the offset eye. Pettigrew's still in the game. Prim's going to keep it. Again, Pretzel's ahead for about 3 yards. Just had to contort his body to get a couple of extra yards there.
And he's that type of guy, too. He's kind of funny. I mean, just a tough, hard-nosed guy. Here we go. Run pass option again, this time for Mason. Mason's going to have a shot at the chuck and duck play Prim had a little bit earlier.
And you look in short yardage, he has Jamal Mosley in the game and also Trip Weir. And look what they're lining Seward up. On 3rd and 4. Mason out of Pearl Cone, rolling left, looking into the end zone and just throwing it away. Didn't have anything going. Trip Weir, his intended receiver. So here comes 4th down and decision time again for Glenn McAdams.
And who came and applied the pressure again? Hughes. I mean, Monterey Hughes from Siegel, like I said earlier, has dominated. Another kid. You got to realize 6'4", 6'5", 255 pounds, doesn't have a home. Maybe I'm missing the boat. That guy's got to have a place to play.
Roshan Patel out of Spring Hill in to attempt the field goal. It'll be from 25 yards. Patel played soccer for 14 years, longest field goal, 47 yards. Memphis, Western Kentucky, Texas State, and Arkansas State looking at this left footer. High snap, the kick is down, and the kick is no good. He missed it to the left. So an opportunity to score squandered by the West squad. 7:33 to go before halftime. The East leading this Tennessee All-Star Classic 13-0. Trucks.
Sweet.
Wouldn't our crew look good in those, Pat?
Yeah. Very nice.
But we appreciate Toyota for being the title sponsor of this first annual East-West Tennessee All-Star Classic. East leading 13-0. The West goes 14 plays, 66 yards, but comes up empty. So back comes the East.
Ready to roll.
Jake Ryan at the wheel. And on 1st down,
reverse pass.
They go with the reverse pass. Throwing it downfield. He has a man open. Incomplete. Randall Cobb was in the game on that double pass. Ken Easterly could have run forever, but he forgot the essential element to the play.
Hey,
reel it in.
Mark, I'm going to tell you what this is, just so you know. Watch right here. Cobb was in the slot. They run the reverse pass, wide open, Easterly, and you know what happened? He lost it in the sun because the sun is right over here in his face. I'm going to guarantee you he lost that ball in the sun. He said it right there. You see, he couldn't see. I knew it. As soon as and now the sun dips behind the clouds. Hey, you should have waited another 5 minutes before you called that one.
Beautifully conceived play by Coach Mark Pemberton of the East squad. All it is an incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd down. Jake Ryan out of Knoxville West. Handoff ahead. Picking up some tough yards. Andre Sterling out of Farragut. Pat Ryan, of course, Jake's dad. Pat, the former Tennessee great. Long career in the NFL. And by the way, a flag on the play.
And John Michael Bryant.
But Jake, 6'1", 175 pounds, a 3.42 GPA. So
got a dead
he
ball,
got his mom's smarts.
Foul against the red team.
That's not good.
15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Little frustration sets in. Now, you remember, these guys are competitors, so most important thing to them is winning. So in their mind, and that's one of the things that happens. You get a little frustrated, but that's another thing coaches evaluate. They want to see how does he handle that adversity. So that's a smart thing for guys. Hey, do the right thing, be smart, show yourself, make people proud of you.
Pat, the East squad has 2 really good tight ends in Aaron Douglas and Jonathan Sharp. It'll be interesting to see. They've already used him a little bit here. On 1st down, Brian the play fake, looking down the middle of the field, incomplete, intended for the aforementioned Aaron Douglas. Got one mid on it, but couldn't pull it down.
Quarterback Jake Ryan's pass.
Ryan tried to drop that one in over the linebackers. Real good job. One of the things that Coach McAdam boasted about was his linebackers. Look at them dropping into coverage. They're playing that zone coverage, and it made it really hard for Douglas to find the hole in the zone, and Ryan tried to kind of finesse it in there. That's one you got to stick in there.
Hanson Moore of Westview downfield on coverage. By the way, 5 penalties for 36 yards against the West. It'll be 2nd and 10 as Ryan scans the defense.
Oh,
hands it off. Another good hole, but breaking tackles and lumbering ahead. Elijah Bible out of Tennessee High School.
They've run this little trade play with the guard in the center, Lilienthal and Spurlock, all day for big yardage. Watch the big guard again. Another devastating block by Spurlock. And Lilienthal, the center, does a good job of taking the guy off his head. That's been their bread and butter. Every time they've needed to play, they've gone back to that, and they've made something happen out of it.
Bible, good two-way player, had 42 tackles and 12 sacks on defense for Tennessee High School and Coach Greg Stubbs. On 3rd and 2.
Little hard count. I like it.
Couldn't draw him offside.
You like the hard count, though, don't you? You got to love the hard.
You got to get creative.
Again, just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, sometimes another good one is the restart. You know, you do the set, high, go! Set, high, go! Go, go!
And by the way, we want to tell you our hotel accommodations provided by the Crown Plaza in Knoxville. It's been a nice, comfortable evening there last night.
I did not.
Well, you chose to tough it out and drive all the way up from Nashville.
You know what? What little respect would people have for me if I didn't tough it out? It just, what that would do would just be decredit everything I say. I like the tough guys. You got to be tough. And then I go stay in a nice hotel. That wouldn't be fair.
On the other hand, I went the diva route and decided to go with the hotel.
That's the diva route.
Whatever the case, when they resume play, it'll be a 3rd and 2. And right now, Pat, you've got to say it, the East capitalizing on their opportunities. A short punt allowed them that 2nd touchdown, but the West drove it down. Couldn't cash in.
And one of the things, though, that I enjoyed doing before the game, and I'm sure you kind of listened in on it, I've played in one of these, I've coached in one of these, and what I appreciate is kind of the atmosphere the coaches bring to the table. You know, I asked them, did you have a prankster? Did you have, and we'll talk a little bit about that as the game goes on.
He's 3 for 3 on 3rd downs. The pitch going wide. Brian Marshall close to the 1st down. 2nd surge, breaking tackles. He's got a lane down the sideline, and he will go all the way in for an East touchdown. Great 2nd effort by Brian Marshall as he takes it to the house.
And think about it. Like I said, before the game we talked about it, and I said, Coach, what 2 or 3 guys really jumped out at you? And the first name he said, Brian Marshall out of Ulawa. Give it to me. Ulawa. And he said, tough as nails. You'd be shocked. Kind of got some ribbon because he's a little guy. And Rodriguez Wilkes, one of those pranksters, came out the other morning in breakfast and put a baby chair in his chair and teased him about his size. Well, guess what?
Guess who's laughing now?
You have the last laugh right there. Marshall, just a tough guy, good running back.
5'8", $160, but he took it 65 yards to put the East up 19-0.
How about the footing? Just landing back on his feet, takes the hit, bounces back, keeps the feet turning. Very impressive.
Nice little tightrope walk as Mike Hammonds comes in to try to tack on the extra point. But, as you mentioned,
on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
Kenneth Pack, our lead official, as we mentioned. He's here with his 3 brothers, Pat, Dick, and Bob.
We'll take the ball back to the
It sounds like a first grade book. Pat, Dick, and Bob.
Really? So 5 yards back. And Hammonds no good again.
The conversion attempt is no good. And the score.
Another look at that touchdown, Pat.
Again, Marshall, it's just the toss sweep to the right side. Watch this. A good hit by the safety. He can't wrap. Marshall keeps his feet, and then there's nobody there. Off he goes.
Kendall Harper of Peabody had Marshall in his grasp and couldn't hang on.
And one of the things, like we said, we talked to the coaches we talked to the coaches before, a little rough stuff after the kick, and that'll offset. But we talked to them a little bit about the atmosphere and some of the things that, went on this week. And first comment by both coaches, great kids. Maybe the best group at an all-star game they've ever had.
Spoke to Coach McAdams last night. He said this is the best behaved group of kids I've ever had in an all-star game so far.
Right.
and I guess they made it through Friday.
It continued. Last night, actually, a lot of the players were saying the most fun thing they did, and you see Coach McAdams right there, the most fun thing they did was last night they went to Gatlinburg, and they had a little competition of running through the haunted house. And just the story goes on that, Coach McAdams had a young man, actually, Brandon McElroy from Ray County, and he said, no, I'm wrong. I don't want to misquote. Larry Faust was the kid. One of his linemen was afraid to go through the haunted house, and he said, hey, show some courage, and sure enough, the kid did it. But they have just had a good time. They've enjoyed the moment, and the credit, again, goes to the coaches and the players making this commitment, coming on up here, and just have had a good time so far.
Well, so far the East has thrown a scare into the West. They go 5 plays, 80 yards in only 1:39 as Hammonds this time will kick it to Daly from his own 3. Looking for room across the 20, comes to the sideline, almost broke a tackle, was about 1 tackle away from maybe turning it into something. Downfield to save it, Mauricio Wallace. So the West will set up shop down 19-0 after that 21-yard return by Marco Daly of Mount Pleasant.
And one of the things the West needs, they need a spark. They need somebody to make that same play that Marshall just made, break a tackle, do something spectacular, get their sideline hyped up, and get them rolling.
Connor Lowry with Daniel White and Jacquez Seward in the backfield. But again, we'll see if the West starts throwing the football here. The handoff again to the up back White, and again, some tough yardage as he powers up the middle across the 30-yard line.
And White, I'm telling you, he's a little warrior. I told you about those big Robert Newhouse thighs. Watch him just turn. You got to realize he's not a big guy, but he's playing that fullback spot, takes the quick handoff. But look at, he's got a 280-pound guy on his back, and he's carrying him.
I would imagine he's a terror in the weight room. You can just tell, as you mentioned, with those legs. In the game at receiver, Andrew Richmond of Colliersville.
Look for Seward. They got to find a way to spark their offense, and Seward can do that as Prim comes in to take this
Prim with Stedman Bell, his teammate from Dixon County, also in the lineup. The handoff, the fake actually, and he's looking for Bell, and he's got him. Oh, intercepted. Winning that little tug of war there downfield on a beautiful interception.
Intended for number 88.
Justin
Bother.
By number 35.
Big play, good position. They ran cover 3. He's got the deepest guy in his zone, which is that 3rd. And Prim throws it up there. Perfect position by the defender, makes the play.
Justin Bather out of Laverne, winning that tug of war from Stedman Bell.
Again, position. He had the inside position where, okay, it has to be the perfect throw and the perfect catch. Nice play.
First turnover of the game. And Bather gets it for the East. And again, good field position for the East.
And now Cobb gets to come back out at quarterback.
Go!
Play
Takes
action.
the handoff, looking downfield, down the right side. Has a man open. Wilkes reels it in, inside the 20, all the way down to the 16-yard line. Rod Wilkes, Tennessee bound, caught 77 balls this season. We just saw why.
And he does it over a real good defender in Garrett, the kid from Hillsborough. Just the opposite. Garrett doesn't hold that inside position. Wilkes beats him inside, pushes it back out, gets on top of Garrett. And, hey, and when you're in zone, you got to get as deep as the deepest man.
Rod Wilkes, as you mentioned, outdoing Demetrius Garrett. Wilkes, Mr. Football, of course, for 5A.
Back to the ground game, would you say?
Pretty good guess. Cobb on 1st and 10. Handoff up the middle. Elijah Bible with minimal yardage.
And a good
as he
job.
was enveloped exactly by the middle of the West. Kendall Dangerfield.
Another good player.
Yeah, another good player. Had a great year for Giles County. Team Defensive Player of the Year. 73 tackles and 12 sacks. As again, we get it into the Farm Bureau of Insurance of Tennessee red zone.
West, 2nd and 8 to go east.
2nd and 8, and look for Cobb maybe to try to hook up again with Wilkes. Fade slow. No, that's not going to happen because they're going to play over the top of him.
On 2nd down and 8. On the roll off the play fake. Had a man open on the other side, throws it across the middle and incomplete. Oh, I'll tell you what, downfield, it looked like he had a guaranteed touchdown, was Chris Gray of Laverne.
Chris Gray did so much waving. I think he may have cramped his arms because he was waving so much. I'm wide open in the back of the end zone, looking for the ball, waiting for Cobb to find him. Finally, Cobb finds him. I think his arms cramped up because he waved so hard. You see everybody with their hands up.
Everybody was open downfield.
And Gray can't adjust to it, and he knows it too. Oh. You don't get many of those in life, son. You got to take advantage of it.
On 3rd down conversions, the West 0 for 3, but the East 4 for 4 as they look at 3rd and 8 from the 15-yard line.
And Cobb, this time he might get one. He's going to get one-on-one coverage with Wilkes.
He flexed Douglas out. Instead, he goes underneath the Bible.
What a great tackle. What an open field tackle right there by the linebacker, number 25, Ryan Consiglio. We talked about him a little bit in the open. Undersized, 6'1", 6'2", 205, 210 pounds. I had a chance to see him in the state finals just last week. That kid is a tackling machine. He's an instinct football player. He doesn't have great size. He doesn't have overpowering size. He probably doesn't have unbelievable speed, but he's a football player, finds the football every single snap.
And Coach Mark Pemberton of the East wants to talk about it. His team already leading 19-0 with 3:12 to go in the first half. And by the way, stay tuned for the Toyota halftime report brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, moving forward. Well, Pat, this is a chance really for the East to put some distance between them and the West. But before we get a comment from you, let's go down on the sidelines to Russell Mays. Russell.
Thanks a lot, guys. For the East team, it's all over East Tennessee contributing to the scoreboard for the East team. Elijah Bible from Upper East Tennessee at Tennessee High. Torrey Works from Bearden in the Knoxville area. And then just a few moments ago, Ooltewah's Brian Marshall getting into the end zone. And then Rod Wilkes with a big catch from Smyrna for the Middle East Tennessee fans. So it's all over East Tennessee for the East team.
All right, Russell. And he will have a whole lot more at halftime. Again, the East leading the West 19-0 in this inaugural Toyota East-West Tennessee All-Star Classic here in Jefferson City, Tennessee, on the campus of Carson-Newman College.
Great facility.
Just a beautiful facility, as Pat mentioned. Now on 4th and 5, Cobb looking left, now goes right into the end zone.
Oh, good play.
Pass is batted away. Heads-up play by Ryan Grieve of Lewis County. As he stuck a hand up there, also on coverage, was Kendall Harper.
What a great play. I think it might be White. No, you're right. It is. Harper right here, number 2. Good job. The tight end releases outside. Harper keeps his position. An outstanding football play right there by Harper, Kendall Harper, out of Peabody.
Or as they say down here, Peabody.
Or Peabody.
he's a Massachusetts guy.
That's Peabody.
So they turn the ball over.
Or Peabody.
Does the East on 4th down.
Or is it P.O. Body?
P.O. Body.
Everybody laugh at me. Go ahead.
A nice little stand by the West as they try to get something going. Seward tries the left side. Not much there.
I'll tell you, another fun guy to watch. Trip Ware out of CPA is a fun guy to watch. He plays every single play like it's the last play of the game. He's going to fight as hard as he can to make a block. You never know when the big play is going to come your way. Trip Ware is not going to miss it.
Now, if you're the West, you're thinking, we go down and score here. We get the ball back at the beginning of the second half.
Well, right now, you're two things. You're trying to avoid any catastrophe, but more importantly, yes, put together a couple first downs.
Weir is split out to the right. His quarterback, Connor Lowry, in the game. On 2nd and 6, Lowry rolls. Under pressure, throws deep down the right side for Weir. Jump ball, incomplete.
Nice
Coming
job.
all the way across for the knockdown was Michael Robbins out of Knoxville Catholic, another one of Mark Pemberton's players.
A nice job, but right here on the rollout, again, the big guys up front for the East have been menacing, have caused problems for the quarterbacks. Here, Ware just has to fight to try to get a piece of the ball. But look at the hits the quarterbacks are taking for the West. And that time, number 84, Ryan Stovall from Franklin County, got after the quarterback and put serious pressure on him.
Robbins, who had 7 interceptions during the season. Nice break up there, showing that center field capability. On 3rd and 7, making the handoff. Prim setting up the screen. And going downfield is Pettigrew. Very close to a first down. He's got it across the 25.
And that was a collision between two tough guys right there, Pettigrew and, of course, the safety for the East, number 27, Robbins. They went at it.
Robbins, a 3.7 National Honor Society member. I don't know about you, Pat, but I never saw that lofty a perch academically.
You, I'm sure, got a 3.7 at some point in time on the test.
If you wanted to add, the 2 semesters up. I'm sure we've got a few
scholars.
Yeah, a few Mensa members in our truck running this game.
Prim's in now.
On first down from the 35, he's tried to bounce it to the outside, but he is rustled down. And again,
it's a good
short
job.
yardage there. Yeah, short yardage on that play.
And now they're in kind of a hurry up. And you see Prim's going to stay in there for a couple plays, I think. He's trying to get him. And Coach McAdams said, hey, get him to the line. It's 2-minute drill. Let's go.
So Prim stays in on 2nd and 2. Looking downfield. Down left side. Incomplete. Andrew Richmond downfield. Through to the other shoulder, just a little bit too tall.
Now, here's the ultimate for a quarterback. You go in the game, if you complete a pass, you're going to be in the 2-minute drill, so you get to stay in. So instead of coming out the next play, make sure you complete a pass. I like it.
Rip line, blue D. Be ready to go 2 minutes.
All right, 1:06 to go in the first half. The East leading the West 19. On 3rd and 2, they got to get the first down here.
Mason.
Will he keep it?
Oh, yeah, he's going to keep it.
Pulls it down. Yep, gets out of bounds, but he gets the first down.
He gets out of bounds. The bad part of that is that he went out of bounds. The coach gets to change the quarterback. Stay in bounds, son.
And Lowry will check into the game. And again, we tell you we're less than a minute away from the Toyota halftime report, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota moving forward.
Lowry's going to throw this ball to his teammate again, I think. I got a funny feeling. Or a guy that's been very impressive, number 18, Jamal Mosley out of Kingsbury. Big, 6'4", 230-pound wide receiver.
On first down, Lowry on the roll. Under pressure, throws. It is incomplete, but in his grill, providing constant pressure from the east side. Another great rush by T.J. Walker, the guy we said, Pat, that had 27 sacks.
That is
ridiculous.
Guess
those stats were accurate.
That's ridiculous, but their guys up front, Walker, and like we said, Hughes, and number 84, Stovall, and Hightower, they got some guys that can be very disruptive, and that was a prime example right there. Now it's Prim's chance. Complete a pass, you get to stay.
On 2nd and 10, Weir stays in the game. They also split Jeremy Holt, who, by the way, played for Glenn McAdams at Lipscomb.
Roll out again.
He goes to the other side.
Walker
under
again.
pressure, throws it downfield into double coverage, incomplete. Lucky that ball didn't get picked.
Ill-advised right there.
Mauricio Wallace among those that had a shot at picking that pass off.
It's incomplete and broken up.
Take a look right here. He's got coverage up and above, and then the linebacker coming over right there. You see him? Good play, safety, corner, make the play.
Michael Robbins has been all over the place from Knoxville Catholic.
Just a tough, hard-nosed guy. Another guy that doesn't have a home yet.
Come on, Caleb, let's go, boy.
It'll be 3rd and 10, 9th play of the drive. During this drive, the West 2 for 2 in converting third downs. Short drop. Prim throws short of Weir.
And Mason, that was one of the things when he was at Pearl. You got to make sure you get that ball out. That's a slant route. There's no hesitation. There's no finesse. It's followed through. And you see right here, kind of short arms it a little bit and makes Weir a little bit indecisive. Just throw it. That's his job to go get it.
He'll be headed for a pass-happy offense at Kentucky as the West will punt it away, and the East will likely, barring a great run back, just take a knee and take it to the locker room up 19-0.
I'll tell you right now, the other great thing about these all-star games, how many times do you think Connor Lowry, the quarterback, has been an up back in a formation?
Don't hit anybody.
He's not afraid.
There's the snap and pulling it down and getting the kick away. And the left is going to take it on the 25, gets a good block, gets across the 30, up to the 32-yard line, but that's as far as he goes.
Randall Cobb is a football player. I don't care what anybody says. Coach Rankin was extremely lucky to have had the opportunity to coach that kid. He is a quarterback. He's a quarterback, and listen to this lick.
38-yard punt by Andrew Richmond, by the way.
Can you not love a quarterback that lays licks like that?
And in the game is Brent Burnett. They're going to throw it. He's going to look for the big play across the middle. It's intercepted. And getting good field position, Gavin Harden. He's been all over the field for the West.
That is a football player right there. Gavin Harden might be. He's making a claim that, hey, I'm the best player on this field, and he's trying to show it. Just an outstanding linebacker, instinctive, tough, physical, hard worker. Get ready. Ole Miss, you got one.
Second takeaway of the game at Ole Miss, which has given us some great linebackers like Patrick Willis, among others.
Well, they got themselves a pretty good one coming down there in Gavin Harden. Prim starts this drive out.
First turnover by the East, the second takeaway of the game. Each team has one. You figure Prim's going to throw. He rolls.
Roll out again.
Looking downfield, nobody home, trying to scramble away to make a play. Oh, here we go. And he's got a lot of open area, throwing in the flat to Holt. Holt's got it at the 30, darts inside the 25, almost to the 20. 4 seconds to go, and they're going to call a timeout.
I love it. How about that? Look at this. Watch this. It's the designed waggle to the right for Prim. He gets out of the pocket. He run pass option. Says, oh, I'll go the other way. Oh, my gosh. Everybody's scrambling. Hey, there's Holt. Take this. Go make something happen. You take the hit.
19 yards on the gain. And his coach, Jackie Bledsoe, had been running the smokestack eye, which gives you a chance to throw the ball a little bit more. But he looked at his personnel, decided to go wishbone this year, which didn't afford Prim as many opportunities to throw. So he's got to be loving this. Just from a pure quarterback standpoint.
And like we said, this is going to be his last football game ever. He's going to go play basketball at Asheville.
Unless he pulls an Antonio Gates.
I'd be impressed.
Aim it inside left and hook that sucker. Y'all give us time there. Give us a great snap.
How can you not love Coach
We got everybody out here.
How about put that through?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
All right. We're just going to try to be calm here. 3 points is big right here. Got it?
Yes, sir.
It's we've turned things around a little bit. This will be a huge momentum thing. Patel, so kick that thing through. Let's get it done. Here we go.
So you heard it. They are not going to throw it in the end zone. They're going to go to Rashawn Patel. His longest field goal, Pat, is 47, so why not?
And you cut it to 16 points, which is 2 touchdowns, 2 two-pointers. But one of the things that's another difficult part of an all-star game, different holder, different snapper, makes it hard on the kicker. They like that consistency.
There's the snap, good hold. Patel's kick is going to be short, and that's going to be it. And, frustration on the part of Rashawn Patel, who had a good opportunity there. So they will go into the locker room, the end of the first half. East leading the West in the first annual Toyota East-West Tennessee All-Star Classic. Toyota moving forward.
West 22 times for a 31-yard average. East lost one fumble.
At the first annual Toyota East versus West Tennessee All-Star Classic. 3 quick touchdowns by the East team gives them the 19-0 lead. Well, you know, we're only about 30 miles away from the University of Tennessee campus, and there is a definite influence of the University of Tennessee in this game, both in the coaching staff and the players on the field. Here's Rick Russo.
And then Phillips turns it on, and the 220-pounder from Nashville, Tennessee has gone all the way. Touchdown, Big Orange in the downpour.
Phillips taking time to score a touchdown against Florida back in the 90s. Now he spends his time giving back to the sport he loves and his local community by guiding young men as head coach at Hillwood High School in Nashville.
That's been a real good experience, you know. It's opportunity to get back to the kids, you know. I tell a lot of people it's the closest thing to playing. In college, you got a lot of guys trying to make it to the pro level. And I've heard on the pro level, you got a lot of guys just trying to earn their paycheck. In high school football, you're actually getting the pure essence of the football game, the funness, you know, because the kids out there, they're not getting paid, they're not on scholarship. They're out there because of extracurricular activity that they want to do after school. So you get the real kids out there that want to be involved.
Phillips represents the past of a tradition-laden program at Tennessee. The future of Vol football is also represented in this first annual classic. Preparing for their tour on the Hill are Maryville tight end Aaron Douglas and fellow Tennessee Mr. Football winner, Smyrna receiver Rodriguez Wilkes, who last week helped lead his Bulldogs to their second consecutive Class 5A state championship.
Last year, we was fortunate to win one, and we played hard, but we lost a lot of seniors last year, but we didn't give up. We had a lot of freshmen this year on the field who helped us get to where we needed to be this year, and we came out with 2 of them, so I'm very happy for that.
Wilkes is the brother of current UT Vol Marsalis Johnson. Now, while Marsalis plays defense, his brother is a big-time threat on the opposite side of the ball, and certainly not lacking for confidence in the talent that he brings to the gridiron.
I feel like I catch the ball and I move around pretty good. I feel like I can read DBs pretty well, and I know where their mistakes is and where their weaknesses are.
While the next 4 years are set for Mr. Wilkes, a game like this All-Star Classic gives college coaches a good look at a number of the state's top prospects during a critical time for both the players and schools.
You know, you get 90 kids involved in this All-Star game instead of 45 like we had in the Tennessee, Kentucky. You get the college coaches coming by to watch them practice each day, and we've had a steady flow of college guys here. Maybe a kid that hadn't committed yet can catch the eye of these college coaches, so it's definitely a better format.
Reporting for the Toyota East versus West Tennessee All-Star Classic, I'm Rick Russo.
Thanks a lot, Rick. 19-0 is our halftime score. The East team with the lead. Stay tuned. More of the Toyota halftime report comes your way in just one moment.
Local Toyota dealers. Toyota, moving forward.
19-0 is our score at halftime of the first annual Toyota East versus West Tennessee High School Classic. Russell Mays here on the Toyota Halftime Show. So glad to be joined at this time by Julie Hermley of Toyota Motor Sales and also Bill Marbett of the Tennessee Athletic Coaches Association. And Julie, for Toyota, not only is this a great celebration of high school football in the state of Tennessee, it's also a celebration for Toyota.
Thank you, that's right. This is an exciting year for Toyota, as we are celebrating 50 years here in America. Toyota Motor Sales and the Tennessee Toyota dealers are honored to sponsor the Toyota Tennessee East versus West All-Star Football Classic. I'd like to thank the Tennessee Athletic Coaches Association and the staff here at Carson-Newman for putting on this amazing event, and of course to the players who are doing an exceptional job out there.
Well, thanks a lot, Julie, and we want to thank Toyota for their support of today's event.
Thank you.
And Bill Marbett, the Executive Director of the Tennessee Athletic Coaches Association, today's event is the culmination of 6 months of really hard work.
Russell, you're exactly right. You know as well as anyone what we've tried to do for these kids. We're so excited to have this opportunity to be here. I'll echo Julie that the Carson-Newman, Tusculum College, and has bent over backwards to make it a memorable experience for these young men, and we're very appreciative of that. And we want to take this opportunity, if I could please. We have an autographed football. All of the players from the East and the West and the coaches have autographed this football. We want to present this to Toyota just as a small token of our thanks for what they've done for these kids.
Thank you so much.
Bill, talk just a little bit about the decision to move to end the Tennessee-Kentucky All-Star game in the summer and move this game to right at the end of the football season. Talk about the benefits of doing that.
We felt like that the first thing we did, we went to the Kentucky people and asked them that if we could play this game 1 week after our championships in December. And it was a conflict for the Kentucky people. So then we started looking at doing an East-West. And the more we thought about this, that not only we're doubling our players that are participating in this, so that much more exposure for these athletes. There are some other all-star games in the state, and we certainly wish them well. What we want to do, any way that we can promote high school sports and put these kids out in the front, that's what we're trying to do. So between that and we feel like they're in better football shape, we can the kids are not, they are committed, they haven't signed any schools, and they're not enrolled in any colleges or universities. So that we just feel like that we can get a better roster for this game this way. And I think you can see on the field that we're pretty excited to have what we have out there today.
Well, it's definitely been an exciting football game. Bill Marbett, congratulations on this event.
Thank you very much. I am tremendously relieved.
And Julie Hermley of Toyota Motor Sales, thank you for your support in making this event possible.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
19-0 is our halftime score of the Toyota East versus West Tennessee All-Star Classic. We'll have more of the Toyota halftime report coming your way in just one moment.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, moving forward.
19-0 is our halftime score here at the first annual Toyota East versus West Tennessee All-Star Classic at Carson-Newman College. Russell Mays joined by Pat Sperduto. And Pat, a very entertaining first half of football.
How much fun. You see these guys, they're running around, they're hitting. I told you, as soon as they crossed that white line, it was time to play football. It was time to compete. And sure enough, we got a bunch of competitors out on this football field. Very impressive first half.
Well, and this East football team has got a lot of Division I guys already committed, and they've showed it in the first half.
And don't kid yourself, the West has had some guys that have jumped off the screen too. The Harden kid, the linebacker, very impressive first half. All in all, very impressive across the board.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights. Screen pass to Andre Sterling of Farragut High School in Knoxville. Sets up the first scoring drive of the game for the East football team as Elijah Bible of Tennessee High of Bristol gets the first touchdown of the game for the East football team. That defense for the East has been impressive. Deontay Mason, Mr. Football in Class 3A, pressured, and they make the play on him, knocking him out of bounds. Once again, another touchdown, this time from Knoxville, Tennessee. Torrey Works punches it into the end zone for the East team. And there again, Pat, more pressure from that East defense.
Well, you take a look right here. Up front is where this game is being played. The big men for the East right now have dominated the big men from the West. And really, the offensive line for the East has opened up holes and just made plays. You flip it around, you look at what the defensive line for the East has done. Constant pressure. The quarterbacks for the West haven't had a chance to set their feet and throw a pass unmolested yet this first half.
The East team threw an interception late in the first half of the game, setting up a missed field goal attempt as we take a look at some more of the highlights.
And that was just
late screen pass setting up that field goal attempt.
A great play by Holt too, and again by the quarterbacks. They've been harassed all day so far, and you look at what the West has to do to come out the second half is definitely they have to get something happening with their ground game. If they can make some creases for their backs to maybe pick up some yards on first down, put them in third and manageable to make those three pretty athletic quarterbacks that the West have be able to run the football occasionally. But because they've been contested from that first down snap, they've started to struggle.
Should be an exciting second half, and these guys are playing for a lot in this football game in front of all of these college recruiters, and there's been a lot in the stands today. They want to look good to have that opportunity to play college football.
And you know, you see, like I've said over and over again, so many of these kids just, they don't have homes yet, and they're going to find homes with their play on the field. You look at what they've done. Guys like Ryan Consiglio, Pettigrew, those two kids from Independence who were in the 5A championship, they went out there, don't have a home yet, they'll find a home, and you'll see more of these kids find homes as we go.
Well, there's no question about it. Glenn McAdams and this West football team, they have a lot of pride leading his team, David Lipscomb team, to the state championship last week. What do they have to do to get back into the football game?
Well, it's create some success on, it's only a 3-score game. They get the ball first, go down, put points on the board, create something positive for your team, then go out and make a couple stops. Really, the two things that have stood out for the West team is their linebacker play. Coach McAdams said that group is so talented. He's never seen 3 linebackers like that, 3 high school linebackers like that, and those guys have to create turnovers too.
And for the East Side, Coach Mark Pemberton's team, they want to play more tough defense, and offensively, with that big offensive line, you want to keep it on the ground, but that's tough to do with 3 great quarterbacks that they have.
Yeah, they got to swallow a little bit of pride. Quarterbacks want to throw the ball all the time, but one of the things you got to do, I'm a believer, at any level in this sport is run the football, stop the run. Thus far, the East has done that successfully. The West has struggled with it a little bit. We'll see how the second half goes.
19-0 is our halftime score here at the first annual Toyota East versus West Tennessee All-Star Classic. We'll have the second half kickoff coming up in just one moment.
Campus of Carson-Newman at Roy Harmon Field. Mark Howard along with Pat Sperduto. The East leading the West 19-0 going into the second half of the first annual Toyota East-West Tennessee All-Star Classic. And Pat, if you're Glenn McAdams, the head coach of the West, some work to do, but you get the football right off the bat.
Yeah, like I said, you got to make something happen right away. You got to find a way just to make a play, get somebody on a first down to put you in a comfortable situation. They haven't been comfortable. They've had 3rd and longs all night.
And, of course, right now the East in the driver's seat. And speaking of that, as we scan some of the merchandise provided by Toyota, we want to thank them for being the title sponsor.
Any chance we're going to get one of those?
It doesn't hurt to beg.
Here's the deal.
I am not above begging.
Usually Toyota does like the player of the game.
Yes.
I figured maybe they can have the announcer of the game. Right now, you got the voters.
Yes.
And I'm just hoping maybe I can sneak one in there.
Well, again, they're picking from a very small sampling, so you've got a 50-50 chance.
No, we got Russell down there, too. Don't
exactly, yes. Let's not forget Russell. And right now he's the leader in the clubhouse. But whatever the case, the teams are meeting at midfield, and you would assume, given the choice, the West wants the football. No. There's not an appreciable wind advantage here on what has been really a perfect afternoon for football.
It really has. And one of the things, you know, it's kind of funny. You just got a chance to walk by some of these guys at halftime, and, you know, nothing's changed. They're still going to go out and have fun. But the competitiveness of the West, they feel like they've been slighted a little bit, down 19-0. They're like, hey, we better pour it on, fellas.
They are immersed and invested in this game right now, and they don't want to lose it.
Absolutely. You got to fight back. They got to find a way to make a play. And, again, I'm a big believer. It starts with the first play of a drive. You got to make hay on first down. You can't put yourself in 3rd and 8s and 3rd and 9s.
You're talking about a lot of kids who are not used to losing.
No. Like, the great thing is, you know what's kind of funny? When we talked a little bit with both these coaches, just the camaraderie that's kind of developed from this, you know, all week. And a great thing they did, they had a study hall at a segment during the day all week. So where all the kids got together. And actually, Coach McAdams says to me, kids were actually studying. It was refreshing to see kids in there with their books, you know, not just horsing around or just, you know, chit-chatting. They were working on their schoolwork.
And kids who get a chance to play with and against other kids that they've competed against for 3 to 4 years. So here's their opportunity as Mike Hammonds gets set to kick it off.
Riverdale and Smyrna kids would get along like
exactly,
this.
Exactly, see? Or Laverne and Smyrna kids.
That's right.
Hammonds set to kick it off. Marco Daly fields it on the bounce at his own 5. Angles to the 15, across the 20. And the West will set it up with the ball nested at the 23-yard line. Another good, I'll tell you what, good special teams play so far by the East. And getting credit for the tackle, Daly's opposite number 19, Torrey Works, who already has a touchdown in this game.
That was exactly one of the things I was going to say is I'm very impressed on short, you only have 3-4 days to practice. You can't put in a lot of special teams, and special teams to me is all heart and toughness, and right now the East has shown a lot of that heart and toughness on their special teams.
John Prim of Dixon County starts the second half as the quarterback for the West. And he gives on a short yardage play to Scott Pettigrew of Independence.
Tough sledding.
He plows ahead for 3 tough ones.
That's tough sledding in there. Hughes has been dominant. Hightower off the edge has been dominant. Their defensive line has been very impressive, and this is what you hate to see in these types of games.
And Pettigrew, the recipient of that hard hit, limping off the field.
You hate seeing that. And we had one injury during the week. One of the receivers for the West, number 16, Rico King, was dinged up early in the week.
White and Seward in the backfield. Play action for Mason. He dumps it off in the flat to White. Darts across the 30, up close to the 40-yard line. Daniel White motors ahead, gets close to the first down. In fact, he got it.
And did he get an outstanding block by his tight end, number 17, Alex Matlock? Right there, the big 6'5", 265-pound tight end made a great block, taking out 2 guys, giving White the chance to move the chains.
And Alex Matlock out of Brewston, considering Army, Tennessee, MTSU, and Arkansas State, in addition to Memphis.
Well, an appointment to Army is very prestigious, and if he gets in there, we wish him the best.
First down from their own 39, exactly. Connor Lowry out of CPA, short drop, looking left. And has his man. Boy, I'll tell you what, Stedman Bell reeling it in. Bell out of Dixon County.
Actually, that was a big man, Mosley.
That was Jamal Mosley, 18 instead of 88. Mosley out of Kingsbury.
Big unit, very impressive physical specimen. When we saw him, he's the guy you want off the bus first always, just because of his imposing stature, 6'4", 235-pound receiver. You see him come off the bus first, you're like, uh-oh, we're in for a long day.
And can you imagine, put him in the weight room for a year or two, he's going to be a beast. Put him back in at quarterback on 2nd down and 5. Fakes the handoff, the inside reverse on the counter, but he could not bounce it outside. Stedman Bell blown up on a great tackle by Vic Smith out of Knoxville.
And Coach Buck Coatney has got to be proud of one of his DBs right there, King. Just watch this, coming from his safety spot. Look at instant, bang, good form.
And 4 West.
Oh, Smith.
On the 45.
Vic Smith, good football player right there.
3rd and 4.
As Buck sent 2, Humphrey and Smith, both DBs.
McAdams did that a lot with Zach Rogers, his wide receiver. And I think they've been inspired a lot by the Florida offense. Mason throwing it deep downfield. He threw it up for grabs. It is picked off and getting knocked out of bounds downfield. Another great play by Derek Humphrey out of Knoxville Fulton. So it's the Fulton guys, the difference makers in the last 2 plays. Humphrey, during the season, 8 interceptions, Pat, 2 taken back for touchdowns.
You know who made the difference on that play, though, was your guy, number 70, Walker.
Knocked out of bounds by Weir.
Again, 27 sacks, gets the pressure. Humphrey is the recipient of the favor of his big defensive lineman, and again, goes back to the East's dominance up front, both offensively and defensively. They have been menacing on defense, and they have pounded it out on offense.
Walker out of Williams Blunt. And getting bottled up, in fact, getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage, Andre Sterling. So the defense is getting stout here in the second half, but good field position for the East. 2nd pick thrown by John Prim. And all of a sudden, the West had something going, and again, stunted by another giveaway.
And again, watch the linebackers for the West. I see what Coach McAdams is talking about as I watched Holloway and I watched Harden. Those 2 guys have made a bunch of tackles along with Consiglio, the other linebacker. Those 3 linebackers have flown around the football.
Loss of 1 brings up
Sterling
second
lost
and 11 to
1,
go.
so they're looking at 2nd down and 11. Brent Burnett in the game. All 3 quarterbacks saw action. Quick drop, short drop, intended for Wilkes, and again, broken up. Good coverage downfield by Hanson Moore.
And
also downfield, go ahead, Pat.
I think it's deflected by Consiglio. Wilkes on the slant. I think Consiglio gets a piece of it. It looked like it. I might be wrong.
You are exactly right.
It looked like he just tipped a piece of that ball and made it hard for the adjustment for Wilkes.
Tell you, Rod Wilkes.
Yeah, he's impressive.
Is he ever? He is 6'3", 215.
He is impressive, and the thing I noticed today, and I've done a bunch of his games this year, his lower body. Golly, I didn't realize he was that thick.
Chris Gray splitting out top of your screen. Wilkes to the bottom on a probable passing situation on 3rd and 11. There's the play fake. Burnett looking to the left, throws in the flat, incomplete. Pass a little bit off target to Sterling, and he couldn't gather it in.
You think he heard a little bit of thump, 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 thump from number 5 coming?
The cavalry, led by Gavin Harden, close to enveloping Andre Sterling before he dropped that pass.
I may not be very smart, but I'm not stupid, and I know number 5 was coming, so I might alligator that one.
Mike Hammonds in to punt the ball away.
And a good stop by the West. Now they got to make something happen. I think they got Garrett back there.
Yeah, out of Hillsborough. There's the snap. Punt is away. High kick. Garrett calls for the fair catch. So the West will set up shop at their own 20. 8:13 to go in the third quarter of the first annual Toyota East-West Tennessee All-Star Classic. 19-0 East here at Carson-Newman.
Period for a horse.
Here at Roy Harmon Field on the campus of Carson-Newman College. Mark Howard, Pat Sperduto, and Russell Mays. Thrilled to bring you the first annual Toyota East-West Tennessee All-Star Classic. And Pat, it's going to be interesting to see if Coach McAdams sort of breaks away and starts throwing the ball a little bit more. I understand what he's trying to do.
Make sure everybody gets the same amount of reps, but I agree with you, Mark. I think it's time where you say, okay, hey, Connor, you take this series. Duante, you got the next series. You know, John, you got the next series after that. And let him get a little bit of rhythm. I'm a big believer in rhythm when it comes to offense. And one of the things you do when you rotate and play to play can be, you struggle a little bit with rhythm. But then again, Coach McAdams is a state championship coach, and I'm not coaching anywhere.
Tell you what, for an all-star game again, not sure what to expect, but the intensity level awfully high.
It's been, has it not been physical?
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Very, as you said, extremely impressed with guys on the defensive side.
Little combination route.
Prim in the game. You see his stats, 2 interceptions. Seward trying to find some room on the right side, but he is waylaid. Tell you what, that defensive line, this time Matt Williamson out of Bearden topples him.
They have been extremely impressive up front, this East squad, defensively and offensively. Defensively, constant pressure on the quarterback, along with their linebackers. Hey, they're sitting over there saying, hey, Coach Pat, they're not the only good linebackers in the red jerseys. We got 3 pretty good ones here, too.
Kentucky-bound Deontay Mason on second down gives it to White, the up back. And nothing doing, as you mentioned, up front.
Good job right there again by big number 84.
Ryan Stovall out of Franklin County.
Just a big 6'4", 235 pounds physical specimen. Squeezes the gap. That's what you do. Your guy blocks down, you squeeze down with your inside arm and push everything down, keep your outside arm free so nothing gets around you.
And right now Williamson, as we mentioned, who had the tackle on first down, and Stovall, the bookends at end for the East as the West is looking at 3rd and 5 with Lowry in the game. Out of an empty backfield, he rolls. Lowry looking downfield under pressure. Lets it go. Ball is caught.
Your guy Stedman.
Down to the 35 again. Stedman Bell on the payoff end and a first down for the West.
Nice job. Good conversion by the quarterback. Hey, if he stopped and tried to set his feet, he was about to get lit up. Did a great job of continuing to roll the pocket. Watch him here as the defensive end Williamson's on his tail. Gets it out.
A lot of patience there. Just, giving his receiver that extra second to get open.
And Lowry's already been offered by Montana. A couple other teams, a couple other schools are jumping on board. Sanford's talking to him. Furman's talking to him. Lowry's a pretty good little quarterback.
Heady play by the class president at CPA and member of the National Honor Society as John Prim checks back in on first down from the 45. He options left. He's going to keep it, turns it inside, carrying that ball a little carelessly, but he managed to tuck it in, and he picked up 4.
Had a chance to see Prim a little bit earlier in the year. Very impressed with his athleticism and his toughness. He is a tough. I can see him on the basketball court being a nasty, nasty defender because of his toughness. He has that scrappy attitude where, hey, I'm going to fight and bite and scratch and do whatever I have to do to make a play.
Deontay Mason is as good a player as he is. Very good student, 3.2 GPA, standing out for Tony Brunetti at Pearl Cone. He's looking at a 2nd and 6. Inside handoff again, and Bell picking up good yardage as he darts across midfield all the way down inside the 45.
How about Stedman Bell? So far, he's made some key plays, had a big catch right there, now a counter.
Another thing that I noticed this year, and again, Glenn McAdams used it a lot with Zach Rogers, letting him run with the football sort of the way they do at Florida with Percy Harvin. How much do you think coaches have been influenced by what some of those coaches have done in terms of letting their skill people, even if they're wide receivers, run the football?
Well, the spread offense obviously has now spread throughout college football. It's kind of a balancing attack right there.
Lowry throws down to Jamal Mosley. Picks up about 5, so it'll be 2nd down and short. But now let's go down to the sidelines to Russell for a Stryker orthopedic injury update.
Thanks a lot, guys. On our Stryker orthopedic injury update, Caleb Dunn of Henry County on the West team. He's been working through a knee problem throughout the week. Banged it up again, so he's going to sit out the rest of the game, and he's really disappointed because he wants to get in there and show off what he can do for all of these college scouts in attendance.
And that puts them a little bit short at the center position. They only had 2, one of them being Dunn. Dunn's out. They only have 1.
And movement up front, it appears as though somebody moved for the West.
I don't have to be a National Honor Society student to get that 2 minus 1 equals 1. Connor Lowry would have got that, so did I.
Dead ball, illegal procedure on the red. Repeat 2nd down.
And kudos to the pack down there doing their job.
All 4 of them.
Let Jock run it. He's out there.
Coach McAdams muttering on the sidelines. Coaches do a lot of muttering, don't they?
All the time. Oh, my gosh. See, the good thing is we can mic him because he may be one of the finest men, and, nothing but positives coming out of him to the players. So that's why we mic him up and like to listen in on him.
A lot like Hank Stram in Super Bowl 4. Mason handing off onto the lane to Stewart. Bounces it to the outside. Gets walled up at the 40-yard line. Picked up 5. It'll be 3rd and short.
Yeah, puts you in a decent position right there. And you take a look, it's just a little counter play right here on the draw. They run the draw, gets a good block from his offensive right tackle, number 78, Brent Hansen out of Milan, Tennessee.
Michael Robbins, another stop for the East. He's been all over the place at safety.
In the concession stand, in the concourse, on the home side.
So 3rd and 5 for the West. Lowry in. West side has something going here.
Got Tripwell at the top.
He's going to screen it. Deflected, though, and incomplete. 2 rushers, really put a lot of pressure on Ryan Stovall and Dustin Moorhead of Lincoln County.
All right, the rule on screens, 1,000, 2,000, then you let them go. You don't olay them. And that's what happened right there. You got to sell it a little bit. That's where the acting comes in as an offensive lineman. You got to sell the fact that you're pass blocking. I'm pass blocking. Oops, you beat me. And then you let them go.
And Dustin Moorhead really coming on hot and heavy out of Lincoln County. Played, of course, for the legendary Lewis Thompson. But Moorhead, 6'4", 290, big body. Big play here on 4th down. Prim in the game. They're in a pass formation.
Little roll.
Prim rolling.
Good block by White.
Open downfield. Got him in, and he dropped the football. Boy, I'll tell you what, Jeremy Holt doesn't do that very often. A dependable set of hands out there, but those mitts betrayed him on that pass.
And Prim, I give Prim a lot of credit. He watched the block by White, the running back, does a great job of picking up the defensive end, giving Prim a beat to set his feet.
And if you watch Holt, he violated Rule 1 of being a receiver, and that is catching the ball with your body instead of your hands.
Become a wide receiver, not a wide dropper.
That's right. So the East gets the ball back. And on first down, the give up the middle.
Right behind the big fella again.
Some more tough yardage, and again, getting the job up front done is that East offensive line, whomever they've had doing business. Brian Marshall of Ooltewah getting the carry there. Marshall, 5'8", 160, as we mentioned, Pat, built for rough terrain.
Hey, and the coaches fell in love with him from the get-go. I want to kudos to the offensive line, McElroy, and, of course, Hewitt, Smith, the two Riverdale kids, Lilienthal, and of course Spurlock. Don't forget big Michael Bryant out of Laverne, and Tyler Chambers from Red Bank.
6 yards on that play. On second down, another chance, and spinning ahead, and on a great second effort, Marshall bounces it to the outside, has the first down. Quite an individual effort by Brian Marshall, who didn't give up on the play and picked up the first down.
I kind of chuckled because you see his diminutive size. He is not a big guy. I'm going to reiterate it again. 5'8", 160 pounds. The coaches were in awe of how tough he was. They put on the pads on Thursday, and they said this kid was for real. He just wanted to hit everything in sight, and he's a little guy. Going back to the Rod Wilkes story, they come out for breakfast one morning, and Rod Wilkes sets up the little, booster seat for him, and he says, hey, that's your seat right there, Marshall.
Not a lot of size, Pat, but a lot of wanna.
Hey, will over skill. That's a prime example right there. That's a football player. Say what you want to say. I know, hey, too small, malarkey.
What do they say? Not the X's and the O's, but the Jimmies and the Joes. And getting a chance to carry the ball and getting close to the 40-yard line, Andre Sterling.
And what a little nice 1-2 punch the East has had with Sterling and Marshall. Sterling get a lot of the carries early in the game, and Marshall picking up a few as of late. But I like the little compliment, and it makes it real easy on the quarterback when he can just turn around and say, here you go, 33, here you go, 34.
East playing a little smash mouth.
And watch, I really want to take a good look. Watch big Aaron Douglas, the tight end. Watch him block. I love watching him as an inline blocker from that tight end spot.
Ken Easterly splits out to the top of your screen. Philip Dixon in the game at the bottom. 2nd and 4.
Oh, Spurlock again with a big block.
And short yardage picked up on that carry. It'll be 3rd down and short. Brian Allen. And those fullbacks getting an opportunity to run.
You watch right here. It's just the inside give to the full. This is Marshall again right here. Just look at the feet keep turning. Very impressive.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kendall Harper got an armful of air there.
And it'll bring up for the East All-Stars 3rd and a yard to go.
3rd and 1.
You think they go back to the quarterback sneak?
It's been awfully good to them. Jake Ryan in the game out of Knoxville West. Inside of a minute to go, and Jake's got the first down and a little bit more.
Unfair advantage to the offense. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't like it not at all. You got to be able to cover the nose. You got to have a nose guard and short yardage. Unfair advantage to the offense.
How about just an over-anticipating middle linebacker?
That's Coach McAdam will not bend the rules verbatim. He said, I'm not going to bend the rules. I'm going to do exactly. I said, hey, that ain't bending. That's just being excited. Just call it plug or something like that.
Matthias Main splits out to the left. He's out of Sullivan East. The pitch, Marshall. Again, cuts it to the outside. This time, Kendall Harper said, no way.
Kendall Harper's had a good game from his cornerback spot. He's made a couple plays on the pass and made a couple big plays in the running game, and right there, does a great job. Hey, you know you're the end of the line. Anything outside of you is trouble. He doesn't let it get outside of him.
Harper, the Jackson Sun Player of the Year. And he and his teammates will get it going in the 4th quarter. The East leading the West, 19. 4th quarter, the East All-Stars, Pat, have a vice grip on this game. They lead 19-0, and they're moving the football on the ground.
Right there, that's got to be, she's given the number 34. That's got to be Andre Sterling's family member right there.
On 2nd and 6, Ryan looking downfield. Wide open is Douglas. Inside the 20, and he lumbers down to the 10. Took 5 guys to bring him down.
How about that guy right there? Jake Ryan's got to be saying, why didn't you come to my high school? Because that is a big, look at him run the seam route. He's running like a big-time player right there.
Aaron Douglas out of Maryville, and by the way, he puts it in the Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee red zone. Tennessee turns to us. And Coach Pemberton letting Jake Ryan finish this drive.
That's the way it should be. Give all 3 quarterbacks a chance to finish off.
Douglas 2 catches, 32 yards on 1st and 10.
Uh-oh.
Handoff.
Uh-oh.
Oh, lots of room inside. Great move, fumbling and recovering it. Andre Sterling, and he didn't get the touchdown. He could have walked in. He forgot one thing, the football.
Handoff is to number 34.
Again, they run a little bit of that counter tray action. Watch right here, the big guard, number 79, Spurlock pulling around, leading the way. He couldn't believe that he could run through the hole, too. Good play by the safety right there, number 27 for the West. Ryan Grieve from Lewis County. Very impressive, and look for maybe, what would you say, Mark? Quarterback sneak.
Well, Elijah Bible in at fullback. Might be prolonging the inevitable here.
Nope.
No, gives it to the up back, and he lets Sterling score the touchdown.
They run that ISO trade at the goal line every single play. 79 comes over Lilienthal, his high school teammate, kicks over the 3-tech, follow him through.
So the Farragut product, who has a host of schools on his radar, Kentucky, Kansas, Colorado, Vandy, NC State, Wake, Tennessee, and Middle Tennessee, punches it in, becoming the 4th different East player to find the end zone.
You know, one of the things that I've been, and I'm not, I don't understand all the recruiting procedures that are involved currently through the NCAA, but one of the things that I see is that matchup. You know, the school matching the player matching the school, waiting for the verbal, and then all that stuff. These kids got to find homes. There's a lot of good football players, and you hate to see one left out.
Hammonds for the point, and after missing 2-point afters, that one was a no-doubter as he splits the sticks.
Watch Sterling here. See the pull right there by the guard. Good kick by the fullback. Nice job. Nice job.
9 plays, 60 yards, takes up 4 minutes and 12 seconds, so.
They have beat that play into the ground. They really have, and the East has just dominated up front. Hey, no offense to all the moms and dads of these quarterbacks and receivers and running backs. You win the football game with those 5 big heavy-set guys, husky fellas up front, and the front 7 on defense. That's where games are won and lost, and right now the East has done it with, right now, a better group up front.
Nope, they've still got some time, 11:02 to go in the 4th quarter. But this becomes their most important possession of the game as the East leads the West 26-0. Interesting that even though we're in Knoxville, the West is the home team.
Odd.
Hey.
It's a coin flip.
Well, they divided these kids up.
It's not, yeah.
You got a lot of kids from Middle Tennessee area on the East squad.
And the West. Because if you think about it, what they did is they took 65 and they cut it right down the middle of 65. Anybody east of 65 was with the East. Anybody west of 65 was with the West. So you had schools like, for example, Independence is one of them that, those kids, you would think they could be on either side.
Now it's provided for a highly entertaining game as Hammonds kicks off. And again, Daly getting another chance to return it across the 20, breaking a tackle and lunges ahead to the 25. Michael Robbins, no surprise in the middle of it. So here comes the West.
Big Ben Everett, too, out of Loudon. Another good football player. The linebacker came down playing special teams. And these kids have to realize, a lot of these kids as freshmen, whether they're redshirt and then they're playing that first year after their redshirt year, or as true freshmen, that's where they're going to play. They're going to have to make contributions on special teams first before they become fully engulfed in the offense or the defensive side of the football.
Mason starts it out at quarterback. They stay on the ground.
Little boot.
Oh, he rolls it left, rather, and he connects. And all the way down to the 40, up to the 42-yard line is Alex Matlock, his tight end.
And
nice play fake there.
He's had a pretty good game. Matlock, the tight end, he's done a good job of blocking, and this time in a receiving role. The big tight end on a drag route off the backside. Impressive.
And again, running out of a hold was his other receiver upfield, Richmond. So Matlock pulls it in. Alex Matlock caught 17 balls during his season at Brewston. 6'5", 265. That's a big body. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up. It'll be a first down for the West at their own 42.
Play action.
Dropping back.
Good screen
Throw,
setup.
good screen for White. It is blown up on another great play, and there have been many of them by Ben Everett of Loudon. All over White.
Everett makes a big play on the special teams. This time sniffs out like a good linebacker does the screen. As they try to set up White, the fullback, you see him dip out of there, and the big kid from Loudon says, that's not going to work. Number 3, here comes number 3.
Good play fake there by John Prim, but to no avail. Good diagnosis there.
Poor White.
Boy, he never had a chance. Lowry in the game on 2nd and 17. You figure he's going to chuck it.
Oh, no.
And the play again blows up and fumbled, and the West is going backwards.
Hightower. Mr. Hightower, paging Mr. Hightower.
So it's going to be 3rd and forever.
Mr. Hightower says, I'll take that handoff. Watch him come off the defensive end. I expect him to play linebacker. They told me he was going to play defensive end, and that's what he can do at defensive end.
Was he going to hand off there?
Well, Mr. Hightower said, no you're not. It was going to be a counter, yes. Hightower on his way to play for Nick Saban.
3rd down and 27.
Oh.
There's the play fake. Mason overthrowing Matlock.
Good coverage.
So again, Andrew Richmond will stay in to punt the ball.
Good coverage that time by Garrett Trussler from Knox Catholic. The other Knox Catholic kid on the coverage, picking up the tight end.
And it'll bring up for West.
Andrew Richmond back in punt formation. He had a pretty strong average, almost 40 yards a punt.
Well, he's had a couple good kicks today, too.
Deep is Brian Marshall and Derek Humphrey.
As you heard, Marshall and Humphrey back at twin safety.
Another good kick. Fair catch.
And it is Marshall, as you mentioned, with the fair catch just inside his 40. 8:42 to go in the 4th quarter. East in a romp over the West, 26-0. Accommodations for our crew provided by the Crown Plaza in Knoxville. Mark Howard, Pat Sperduto, Russell Mays. 26-0 East over the West here at lovely Roy Harmon Field in Jefferson City, Tennessee. The East with the ball.
Randall Cobb back in at quarterback.
On the option pitch to Marshall. Flag on the play. Turns it to the outside. And making the initial stop was Tyler Caldwell of Dyersburg.
Tough as
And again,
nails.
we'll see what the call is. You are correct, sir.
I think it could be an illegal block.
Illegal procedure on the offensive team. Will penalize 5 yards from previous spot. First down.
That's a formation deal.
So says Kenneth Pack, our lead official.
Part of the pack.
Brian Marshall, where is he, do you think, best suited to go, Pat, in terms of position and level in college?
Well, first of all, let's look at what can he do. He plays hard as heck. He is tough as nails. There's no question he's going to play full speed. So that's number one. So he has that going for him. Size, that's obviously a minus right now because he's not a big guy.
Only 2 penalties for 9 yards for the East. Cobb, keeper, up the middle.
Now, I think it's going to come to a point where you look at him and you say, can he play at a Division I school? Probably not. People are going to frown on him because of his size. But why couldn't he go For example, Carson-Newman, they had a little guy named Jacquees Rumpf, a little running back just like him that hung around here for a while, put up productive numbers. That's the type of kid he could be. A Division II school definitely would benefit from a kid like that.
Joe McNish tells me Cobb 7 carries, 23 yards, and he's looking at 2nd and 10.
This kid here, Cobb, is a football player. I don't care. He may not be a quarterback, but he's a football player. He can do a lot of things.
Quick out to Wilkes and a good downfield tackle. And I mean, all over him on that play was the cornerback.
Garrett? Was it Garrett?
Cameron Fletcher.
Garrett was in on it too. You take a look right here. They're just trying to get the ball into Wilkes' hands to make a play. Wilkes gets it. You're right. Fletcher gets there along with Garrett from the inside. You see number 12 jumping on board. Little JOP for him.
Demetrius Garrett, exactly. But Cameron Fletcher out of Clarksville played for Jim Snyder.
And you look at, it's been a tough day for the West, unfortunately. That really tough, no rhythm offensively, unfortunately.
And on 3rd and 8, East 5 for 7 on 3rd downs. Cobb looking deep downfield. The ball is deflected and incomplete. The aforementioned Fletcher there on the breakup.
Fletcher had great coverage. You got to give him credit. And Cobb, I'm going to tell you right now, that's a prime example of Randall Cobb. He had a chance to take the check down and didn't think he would get the first down from it, so he says, hey, I'm a competitor. I'm going to take a shot down the field and see if I can hit my big receiver, number 11, Philip Dixon.
And it looked like that Fletcher, though he didn't get a hand on the ball, impeded Dixon's vision and might have contributed to him not catching the ball.
They played too deep, and Fletcher held his own, knew deep is the deepest man. Don't let him get into that hole. Cobb took a shot. You can't knock him for that.
Hammonds again there to punt it.
Ooh, bad snap.
Still picks it up.
Good kick.
A high kick. And they'll let it fall. Went off a West defender. I think the East got it back.
I think it did. You see the beanbag come in. That means it did.
Refs conferring.
Oh yeah, the umpire saw it and hit the player.
Fletcher called for the fair catch.
The only thing they could have called was interference, and what that means is if you interfere with the ability to fair catch the ball.
And it looks like the East has the football.
They're not calling it. They're giving the ball to the East.
27-yard punt.
And it's the right call. You watch right here, right? Yep, comes off at number 4 for the West, Tyler Caldwell from Dyersburg, and bounces back, and the East says, we'll take that.
So another critical mistake for the West. And the East gets the ball back, and we're probably going to see them stick to the ground.
Burnett back in the game at quarterback.
Burnett about to hike his college record to 61-0. Spinning away with Sterling to the 15, to the 10. Nice run, you're right, it's coming back.
That's going to be a hold.
Boy, Andre Sterling showing everybody something. Played for Eddie Courtney at Farragut.
What great balance with Sterling and Marshall. It sounds like a law firm.
Spun away from that tackle.
Nice cut. You see
boy, very nice cut.
10-yard
kind of broke Tyler Caldwell's ankles there.
First down.
And Sterling had a chance to add on to his total. He's got 21 yards on the day on 7 carries, and Marshall's got 77 on 6 carries. Pretty impressive.
They walk the ball outside the 40-yard line.
The dilemma for the West has been they haven't had the ability to run the football, whereas the East has dominated and controlled the game from their ground game. And now look at this split out down at the bottom. Might be a little bit of a size mismatch.
Again, we'll take a look at Aaron Douglas, but Burnett looks the other way, flares it out, and Sterling gets a couple of yards across the 40.
What a great touch pass by Burnett as he teardropped it over. If you look at it, he just drops it right over the defensive lineman and gets Sterling drifting behind him.
Still 2nd and 16 for the East, but they're taking time off the clock, which is their primary motive here as we get down to 5:30 to go in the game.
You got to love what you've seen from some of these kids You know, they've stepped on the field. Like even guys like Gavin Harden, I told you, going to Ole Miss. He losing effort right now, but he's been impressive.
2nd and 16. Burnett's going to throw. Instead, he screens it, and falling down and not being able to go anywhere is Brian Marshall.
And that might be the easiest tackle ever for big number 50 mine, Lamar Theus from Henry County. The defensive tackle said, oh my gosh, can you imagine if he caught that, me trying to catch that little water bug?
So 3rd down and 16.
Not saying Thomas isn't talented, but Marshall would be a difficult task one-on-one with all that field.
I think his record speaks for itself. And as you mentioned, Theus out of Henry County played for the legendary Joe Gaddis. Had 143 tackles on the season.
Third
as he pads his resume. They're 5 for 8 on 3rd down. Nice play fake by Burnett. Looking deep down the left side, intended for Wilkes, and he caught it. He caught the football.
No, this is coming back. This is going to be offensive.
Pushing off.
Absolutely.
Still good.
Impressive, but it's coming back.
He's tackled by Harrison Moore.
The wide receivers union would argue against that.
Of course they would, but it's coming back. It's blatant. It's a full double hand. Throw him down to the ground. I'm a bully, which isn't bad for a receiver.
Offensive pass interference. Penalized from the previous spot. Loss of down. 4th down.
Yeah, it could have been.
Still look good.
Yeah, you know what would have made it look good? You know, you don't extend your arms. Just buddy up to him. You know, put your chest on his back, and they won't call that. But once he puts his hands out, watch his hands come out. I don't know if you can see it right there. You see his arms come out? That's too obvious.
And Tyler Caldwell.
And it only puts it, let's see. This could be a record. What is it, 4th and 40?
They're going to punt it here on 3rd and 38. But Tyler Caldwell, the one that got pushed downfield.
3rd and officially.
It's going to be offside against the West.
3rd and 38. No, they were taking a shot.
Why not go for it?
Absolutely go for the block. Take a shot at it.
Why punt here on 3rd down?
It's 4th and 48.
Oh, it is
38. I'm sorry. It's 4th and 38.
Dead ball foul. Illegal procedure against the white. 5-yard penalty.
Okay.
Repeat, 4th down.
I stand corrected. 4th and 43.
All right. So it's procedure against the East.
Unbelievable. Go after it. Oh, that's right. The rule says you can't.
Yeah, Mike Hammonds will be able to punt it.
Only the 4 down can go after the punt.
Demetrius Garrett calls for the fair catch. And the West will get at least one more possession at their own 30, Pat.
And
trying to get something going. Just get on the scoreboard. You don't want to walk away after getting bageled in an all-star game.
Yeah, that's not fun. Fun. Number 2, compete. And number 2 right now, the East has the dominance in that because they've competed and just made more plays. And that's just how it is sometimes. There's always a winner. There's always a loser.
Lowry in the game. You see Stedman Bell motioning. Lowry on 1st down, deep drop. Looking downfield, lets it fly, intended for Bell. Great catch!
I'll tell you, he has been impressed. Stedman Bell, 6'4", 190 pounds. You know, he played out of Dixon County.
In a wishbone offense.
In a wishbone offense where he's not going to get many opportunities, but he's shined in this game. Really, another guy that doesn't have a home. I'm telling you right now, that's a big receiver. That's the kind of guys that colleges look for, that 6'4" guy, and he goes up and he makes that play.
On the 38 of the East, Bell showing great hands.
Very impressive.
Seward in the slot. Prim in at quarterback. 2 catches for 41 for Bell. On 1st down, Prim stepping up and gets away. Prim still looking downfield, throws, and it's caught and dropped. Jaquez Seward had it and couldn't secure it.
I'm going to tell you right now, Jaquez Seward was thinking touchdown because he throttled down and kind of reached back for the ball. Go to the football. Rule number 1, go back to the football, come back to your quarterback. I can't believe Prim got out of this.
Play looked over.
What a great pickup by White again. But look at this. Look at Prim. That shows you the type of competitor he is. Gets the ball down. And look at Seward. Seward's trying a little reach out, let me catch it and try to get in the end zone right now.
Matt Williamson of Bearden looked like he had him and a great job of shaking him off by Prim. Now it's Deontay Mason's turn on 2nd and 10.
Option.
Little option pitch. Trying to find some room. Jeremy Holt gets a few yards. Good form tackle there by Vic Smith of Knoxville Fulton. Interesting because those two faced each other in the 3A championship game.
It was kind of funny. Nice little revving between Coach Coatney, who coaches at Knoxville Fulton, and Coach McAdam before the game. I got to stand there and listen to those two guys go back and forth. Buck Coatney, a fine football coach at Fulton. And, of course, Coach McAdam, everybody knows how great a coach he is. But it was enjoyable for me to stand there and listen to them kind of rib on each other.
Coach Coatney, not only a good coach, but with a great staff, a great community, a great support staff at Fulton. Lowry throwing, and I'll tell you, and it really impresses me, Pat, when a quarterback rolls the opposite way and sort of has to throw across his body. And Lowry did a good job there, just didn't have an open receiver.
I'm going to tell you right now, though, how about the relentless heat from the front four for the East? It's been terrifying for a quarterback. You look at those guys up front, starting with number 2, Dante Hightower, on his way to Alabama. I mean, very impressive. Then you go down the line, and just like the coaches for the East said, Monterey Hughes has been impressive out of Siegel.
Hightower, a tower of power.
Bam. And don't forget, hey, we've just had a few pretty good plays out of Williamson. And then your favorite guy, T.J. Walker, with his 27 sacks on the season. Very impressive. And Ryan Stovall also getting into the action.
John Prim in on 4th and 6. Fakes the handoff. Good protection this time. Throws it downfield to Bell. He's got it. He's in for the touchdown.
Somebody step up to the plate. Division I, AA, Division I. Give this. He played the wishbone. Give him a chance.
A Dixon County connection there. John Prim to Stedman Bell.
What
beautifully thrown.
He runs a skinny post. Very impressive.
Good job of hiding the ball. And again, led his man. They've done this before. So the West finally getting on the board. And Roshan Patel will be in to try to tack on the extra point. And a bad snap. It's fumbled away, and they'll blow the play dead.
You can't hit the center, you hit him. You can't hit the center. Uh-oh, here we go. Typical. Is that not? That's how it happens. They start, you know. But the good thing is, how about the West putting the points on the board?
Its massive 5.7-liter V8 kicks out 381 horsepower, and it can throw over.
So I think it's a foregone conclusion the West will onside kick it.
Sure, why not?
Log on to buyatoyota.com.
All right, real quick, let's go down on the sideline to Russell.
And for more information on the more than 17
has done the tandem from Maryville High School. They've went through their high school career 61-0 if you count today's All-Star game. 4 state championships and a win here in the Toyota East versus West Tennessee All-Star Classic. Guys, that's a pretty impressive high school career.
You are correct. As we mentioned for Net, 61-0. Do you just want to stop playing football after that? Because you realize in college you're probably going to lose a game.
Well, yeah.
But by the way, the scoring drive, 5 plays, 69 yards in a minute 34.
Unless you go to Appy State.
Yeah, exactly. Or you go to Mount Union in Division 3.
Mount Union, that's right.
I'm a Division 3 guy.
Me too. Me too.
Every now and then we might shock the truck with an obscure football reference. As we check the stands.
The high school teammates right there, the
exactly.
crew.
A lot of friends and family coming out to support their teammates and friends.
Set the kickoff of the West is number 11, Roshan Patel. 8th is Ryan Marshall.
Good grab right there by number 8 for the East. Kenny Easterly from Knoxville West makes a big play.
So getting the ball back will be the East, as they'll likely try to run the clock out. And in just a minute, we'll give you our Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Great coverage of the game. Tell you what, Pat, it's not an easy task you do get great players, but to assemble them and get them to play cohesively is a tall order sometimes.
To get off on the same snap count.
Yes.
That's hard enough. I mean, do you realize how much time goes into a normal season to do it in 4 days? Impressive.
Jake Ryan in the game at quarterback. Getting the call here and getting a nice chunk of real estate up the middle is Torrey Works, who's already scored 1 touchdown in this game.
How about Torrey Works? Nice little compliment to his other 2 backs, but the big guys up front, the big nasties, have been very, very impressive.
Exactly. Works played for Brad Taylor at Bearden. Timeout called by the West. 3 rushes, 22 yards for Works.
Again, fans, we
and the aforementioned Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee, great coverage of the game by the East defense. And again, it was the interception on a great play downfield by Justin Bather of Laverne, who rightly deserves the Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee great coverage of the game.
It kind of set the tone, wouldn't you say, Mark, from the beginning when they made that play, got them rolling, got them a chance to get up by 2 scores, and then the rest was what it is, 26-6.
So 1:55 to go here in the 4th quarter.
And you'll probably see the East just line it up and try to drive it right down there.
2nd and 4. And in just a minute, we will show you our Toyota players of the game. And again, we thank Toyota for sponsoring this 1st annual East-West Tennessee All-Star Classic.
And since the players are not allowed to accept the truck,
2nd and 4 to go.
Mark and I are taking them home.
We'll take it off your hands. On 2nd and 4, it's Works again, nothing doing.
Good job by the defense for the West. The linebackers again filling gaps quickly.
And getting off the bottom of that pile. Still enthusiastic.
It's fun.
And here are Toyota players of the game. Andre Sterling for the East, the running back for Farragut. 10 carries, 32 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, you could have gave that to the 3 of them as a group. Sterling, very impressive. Big score right there. Little dance right there. Look at that cut. But all 3 backs worked. And, of course, Marshall and Sterling have all been very, very impressive behind those big uglies. And, you know, got to give more love to the big men.
And for the West, it goes to a guy that you were talking about before the game, Pat, Ryan Consiglio, the linebacker from Independence. Here's Ryan.
He has been incredibly impressive. Tackle after tackle. Finishes the game. Well, hasn't finished the game yet, but 7 tackles, 1 assist, a forced fumble, a pass breakup. Typical Ryan Consiglio night. I'm telling you, I have seen him 3 times play, and every time he walks away with double-digit tackles and just makes a play. He's a football player that finds a way to make a play.
1 timeout remaining for the West with 1:49 to go on the clock. Ryan's going to throw. Has Wilkes in the flat. Tries to break that initial tackle. He can't do it, but he does have the first down. Cameron Fletcher, good job of hanging on and finally bringing down Rod Wilkes, but it's going to be a first down for the East, and that should be that.
All right, they'll take a couple knees, and congratulations to the East and the staff, of course. I just want to call out to the staff, Mark Pemberton, Knoxville Catholic, John Webb from Rockwood, Steve Britton, Franklin County, Ralph Nelson from Sullivan East. Of course, Philip Shad-Owens from Smyrna, Danny Wilson from Cleveland, and Kevin Smith from Knoxville Catholic, the East squad coaches.
And on the West side, Coach Glenn McAdams with his bunch.
I'll holler them out right now as Sterling gets another carry. McAdams from David Lipscomb, Kevin Ward from Camden, Bobby Sharp from Lewis County, Ken Scott from Peabody. Or Peabody.
Keeping your Massachusetts sensibilities.
Don Cody from Westview, Mose Phillips from Hillwood, and Tom Naismith from Memphis Central.
My old buddy Mose Phillips.
Don't forget, these guys here, they come out here for 4 days. They work their tails off to get these kids ready. And for them, it's a joy. But what they do, very impressive.
Second guy takes the ball. Got it? First guy locked up.
You got to love Coach McAdam. You just got to love him. First guy makes the second guy go for the football. And you know, one of the things I say to these guys every single time I see them, just so you know, I'm a former 5th grade school teacher, so I do know how important their job is. They have
now I know why we get along so well.
They have the why? Because you're a 5th grader.
Exactly.
But they have the greatest job in the world. Their responsibilities to assist in bringing our children good, sensible morals and thoughts. I mean, it's impressive. I love Coach McAdam. He's just an example of the fine coaches we have throughout the state of Tennessee.
And before we go, we should thank everybody connected with this game, this first annual Toyota East-West Tennessee All-Star Classic. Marshall through a gaping hole. He wants more. Pushed out of bounds at the 26.
These guys haven't stopped now. This game, it's 26-6. You would think it's 6-7.
So tack 15 more yards on Brian Marshall's body of work today.
Coaches were right about him. Look at the battling going on. Marshall's he's a tough guy. There's no question. They were right about him. Coaches called it out from the get-go, and he's proven it. That's a football player right there. Don't miss the boat.
Demetrius Garrett shepherded it out of bounds, but not before a 15-yard pickup.
The kid can play. I'll bet you he could be a slot receiver or a punt returner. Hey, he can do a lot of things.
7 totes, 92 yards for Marshall. And he also got a first down. This is Works. Short yardage as we get inside of a minute to go. No more timeouts for the West. So the East will keep it on the ground, maybe not take a knee, but run it out nonetheless,
they'll
leading 26-6.
They'll probably just run ISO again and call it a day. But what a good football game. What great camaraderie for these kids. And you're right. We got to thank the people in the truck. What an outstanding job our cameramen have done today. Of course, the people up here in the box have been phenomenal. I mean, we're lucky. We're very lucky.
Our boys Gaines and Joe and the rest of the crew, Ben and Roy and their gang in the truck. But at the same time, I want to thank Russell, who did a great job of helping me out with information, and Brian Allen, who again puts the full and fullback, busts ahead.
I wonder if he won
inside the 20.
Another quick Glenn McAdam story. He talks about the
by the way,
house.
for the last time, and I want you to tell that story, we're in the Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee Red Zone. Go ahead.
He talked about Larry Foose, who ends up going into the haunted house. He was scared to death, went in through the haunted house. As soon as they got back to their party, he got a whole pizza because he went through the house.
All right, and that is the end of the game. The teams congregated midfield. The East beating the West in this inaugural contest, 26-6, Pat.
Good job, Coach. Y'all a lot better than us today. Good job, guys.
You gotta love Coach McAdams.
Coach calling it as he sees it.
Y'all a lot better than us today.
Coach Mark Pemberton and his East team getting the measure of the West.
Good job. Poor y'all.
Let's go to Russell down on the field with Coach Pemberton. Russell, go ahead.
Mark Pemberton, the coach of the winning East team. Coach, congratulations. An impressive football team you had today.
Well, there's a lot of great athletes on the team. It's easy to coach them when you got that good of players. Just happy that we got out of it with no injuries.
Well, and I know it's fun as a coach to be a part of a great week like this, a great experience for the players, but it's also a great experience for the coaches to get together and bond and learn from each other.
It is. Got to meet a lot of new guys, some great coaches on this staff now. They did a super job in practice this week, and just an honor to be able to coach this game with these coaches and these players.
Coach, congratulations again.
Thank you, Russell.
Mark Pemberton from Knoxville Catholic, the winning coach of the East team here in the first annual Toyota East versus West Tennessee All-Star Classic.
And the post-game handshakes continue at Roy Harmon Field. When we come back, we'll wrap it up. The East topping the West 26-6.
They set the tone from the first time they got the football, making a couple big plays. The horses up front were impressive to me, and all these college coaches that are here watching this game, I'm sure they're going to have some things to talk about with these young guys.
We got about 20 seconds, but a lot of these kids might have found a college to play for next year.
Yeah, and I hope so. I mean, there's so many good football players in the state of Tennessee, and sometimes the place gets overlooked.
All right, again, our thanks to the entire staff who put together this Toyota East-West Tennessee All-Star Classic. For Pat Sperduto and Russell Mays and our entire crew here at Carson-Newman at Roy Harmon Field, this is Mark Howard wishing you a good day.